never, never, in nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's gonna hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our bit.
Republic. I like the sentiment of it. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come by or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood. Matty, now you're exposed.
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over it.
You were meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're gonna have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I declare to be an outlaw!
All right, everybody, it's the Outlaw Radio Network for the 25th of August, 2024. Thanks for checking out the show. We appreciate you. K-Dog, Black Tom, Bob Ross is here running the boards, and fresh off of her 3-week assignment, her 3-week suspension for coming in, not in the top 2 in the primary, because there are no losers allowed on this show. It is the CEO. Hello, Lori.
Hello.
What's
Missed
going
you
on?
guys.
How are you?
I'm doing well, and you guys?
We are wonderful.
Awesome.
Wunderbar.
Wonderful.
Had a amazing vacation in the land of freedom.
Where is the land of freedom? Where did you go that is the land of freedom?
I was just outside of Boise. I was outside of Washington. Outside of Boise, and then I was in Coeur d'Alene yesterday. And, yeah. I mean, looking at guns with magazine clips that, surpass what we can have in
state were you in?
Idaho.
You're not a hoe, Lori. Come on.
Ha ha ha
ha.
Yeah, I know I'm not a hoe. Anyways, it was amazing. I went to the Western Idaho State Fair in Boise, and the Democrat Party had a life-size cutout of Kamala.
Oh boy!
That men were taking pictures of and posting on.
Only imagine.
Posting on their Facebook and telling their significant others that at least they could probably get something from her.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
And the Democrat Party is very active in trying to get open primaries.
Okay.
And this is the state where their governor attempted a mask mandate, and they did,
they told the governor to shut up.
Oh, no. Every farm along the highway, the freeway system they have down there, had nooses with a caricature of him.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
During the pandemic. So, yeah.
Well, you guys hear about Fauci, by the way? Hear about Fauci?
No.
Fauci is recovering from
COVID?
No. Another one of those.
AIDS?
No.
Monkeypox?
Hold on. No, it wasn't monkeypox. Hold on. FAU.
Bird flu?
Hoof and mouth?
West Nile virus.
Oh.
He's hospitalized with West Nile virus.
Oh.
I don't know.
Too bad. That's so sad.
That's mosquito spread.
It is mosquito spread, but clearly the guy who's got all the knowledge of all the medical stuff didn't get that vaccine. Anyway,
I don't know if there is one.
I don't know either. We're not even gonna. I'm not gonna get a West Nile virus. This is all stupid.
Oh, Paul
and-
says
and-
Zika in the
Well, I think
chat.
Zika is West Nile virus.
Are they one the same?
I think so.
Oh, I
Zika.
don't know.
I thought Zika was
hold on.
encephally in the brain.
Zika.
Yeah, I do not know.
Hold on, I'm going to look right now.
Okay. Do your research, people.
Oh, so see, Kevin says West Nile virus in the chat. Paul says Zika. I know they're both mosquito.
So according to Google Labs, Zika virus and West Nile virus are both mosquito-borne viruses that are related to the other virus in the flavivirus genus, including dengue and yellow fevers.
Dengue.
Whatever. I speak English, man.
Dengue is nasty.
Is
yeah.
it dengue or dengue?
No,
I
it's
don't know.
dengue.
Dengue. Oh,
Dengue.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So listen, we're not going to talk about that. Can we open with the big news of the week?
Yeah. What is it?
Because
But what is the big news?
I
really?
believe. Listen, I know people are going to want to talk about Kamala Harris's word salad at the DNC convention, and we can definitely talk about that later if you want to. I'm not really going to get into it. Oh, Oprah showed up. Oh,
Surprise. I mean,
who cares?
but the word salad is nothing different.
Do we have breaking news?
Well, no, you said we got breaking news for the DNC, right?
No, we're not going to talk about the DNC.
There's so much.
Did Oprah say you get a vote and you get a vote and
You get a vote, yeah.
yeah?
Listen,
you got to pay your taxes on it. So.
Paul might want to talk about the DNC, and he's on his way in, so we'll talk to Paul when he gets here. And if he wants to talk about the DNC, I'll totally let him, okay? But I really believe that the biggest story of the week is the non-story. The story that everybody's making a story that is not really a story at all. The story that people say are going to change the outcome of the election in November that I believe is not going to have any impact whatsoever. It's a non-story, folks. It has no credence. It has nothing to vet to prove it's true. It doesn't matter.
What are the Russians up to now?
No. RFK Jr. dropped out of the race and endorsed Trump. And I got a whole bunch of conservatives on my Facebook page that are literally frothing at the crotch because RFK endorsed their boy. It is not going to matter in the slightest.
What's the bet on this?
What's the bet?
Yeah.
Well, we can't make a bet because there's no way to quantify the bet. Like we're not going to be able to look. Okay. We're not going to be able to look at the polling or the numbers on election night and go, well, 9 percentage points boosted to Trump because RFK dropped out. So we can't make that bet. Okay. It's going to be a net nil.
What if
half of the people that would have voted for RFK are going to vote for Trump?
Hold on,
I'm just explaining what a net nil is.
I
know. You know, but the listeners don't.
No. I'm backing you up from the net nil.
I know, but can I explain what a net nil is?
Wait, in a second.
Oh, okay. Listeners, I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but let's all talk. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Go ahead.
Because it doesn't matter, because he said we can't quantify it.
We can't quantify it.
So what does it matter?
It matters because here's the problem. Everybody and their mother is preaching about how RFK dropping out is going to be a big boon for Trump and that it's going to help push Trump over the edge and Trump's going to get more votes now. And here's why that's dangerous for two reasons, right? One, it's a false equivalency. There is nothing tangible or intangible that you can bust out of your hairy butt that will prove anything about RFK bumping anybody.
Okay, what if I groom my butt?
And two,
yeah, I was gonna say,
I certainly
crap.
hope you groom your butt. I'll ask your wife later. Secondly, and this is what I worry about, right? When people start printing articles that say, now the election's a foregone conclusion. Now Trump is going to win easily. Now this led to this. What that does is that scares me because some people are going to read that and go, well, then my vote doesn't really matter. I live in upstate Pennsylvania. I don't need to vote.
Well, okay, now...
I live in Ohio. I live in Florida. I live in North Carolina. I live in Arizona. I live in Nevada. I don't need to vote because it's a foregone conclusion that Trump's going to win, and I was going to vote for Trump, but I got better things to do on the first Tuesday in November when I get to go down to the brothels in outside of Vegas. I got better things to do.
Okay, now we just had this conversation in our little chat.
We have a little Facebook chat.
Yeah,
yes.
our little Facebook.
Pull the
chat.
curtain back.
Right. So we just had this chat because I was talking about the libertarian vote.
Yes.
And you
all
said,
5 of you.
Yeah, all 5 of us. And you said a vote for a libertarian vote is a wasted vote.
Yes.
Right. And my encounter was...
Hold on. We're going to have that conversation when Paul gets here. Because I want to have that conversation, but I want Paul to be here because I actually think you have a really valid point. I don't like to admit that because your libertarian head will swell up like somebody allergic to peanut butter who just had a PB&J sandwich. But
anaphylaxis.
Anaphylaxis. But who's Anna? Phylaxis. That's who she is. So we'll talk about that when Paul gets here. Okay. I want to stay to this RFK thing really quick because... Okay. Here's what a net null is. Okay, a net null means is that there's no positive or negative decline from an end result.
Sure.
Okay? Everybody that I see on Facebook that's a conservative and Republican, Dave McMillan's out there, and I got a whole bunch of other people. All people I like very much, by the way. Okay? Chris Gergen, all people I respect highly. Well, there are a lot of people that were out there voting for RFK because they didn't want to vote for Kamala. If they wanted to vote for Trump, they just would have voted for Trump. They didn't need to go to RFK Jr. They just would have gone to Trump. A lot of people voting for RFK Jr. are voting for him because they don't like Trump.
Or Harris.
So what's going to happen is they're either A, going to find some other third-party candidate with 0 shot in winning, libertarians, and vote for them.
Watch it.
Or... they're going to go back to the party they more closely identify with, Democrat or Republican, if they're going to vote for Harris or Trump. But it's going to be a net null. You're not going to see anybody get any bump from RFK, period. And if you think anybody is sitting at home with a bowl of Cheetos in their underwear, waiting for RFK to announce who he's endorsing so they can decide who they're going to vote for, you're insane. Because there is no way that anybody was at home going, well, I'm going to wait to decide who I'm going to vote until RFK Jr. tells me how to vote. Nobody. Just like nobody was at home waiting for Joe Biden to pronounce who he endorsed. Nobody cared who Joe Biden endorsed. They're going to vote for whoever the Democrat was in the ticket. It isn't like somebody said, well, I hated Harris, but Joe Biden said she's okay. Joe Biden can't remember what he had for breakfast this morning. Nobody cares about endorsements. Nobody. Do you care about endorsements, Tom?
No, not particularly.
If Chase Oliver dropped out of the run tomorrow, he's your libertarian candidate for those of you who have no idea who he is. If Chase Oliver jumped out tomorrow morning and he said, I endorse Jill Stein, whatever she is, from the Green Party. That's who I endorse. Would you suddenly change your vote and vote for the chick from the Green Party?
Nope.
Of course not. And you're a card-carrying, masturbating libertarian. When you're on YouPorn at night, and I don't go to that site because I think porn is stupid, but when you're on YouPorn at night, you're Googling libertarian porn. And I don't even know what that is. I'm sure it exists. You wouldn't even... Does? Yeah, I'm sure it does.
You think so?
Do some research.
Okay.
You're so far at the Libertarian Party's backside, you wouldn't even go with who Chase Oliver endorses because you know better.
What? So I'm going to stay with my party because I have a party affiliation. But what about those Americans that don't have a party affiliation? They sometimes vote this way. They sometimes vote that way. They vote depending upon what the economy is doing. They vote. How's my bank account been?
They're gonna migrate back to their parties. They're going to vote for a third party.
Right, but there's a big chunk of the country that doesn't identify with a party.
Right, but do you... Hold on. I know, Lori, hold on. Mm-hmm. But do you think any of them...
Does an endorsement mean anything? No.
And do you think that RFK Jr. dropping out is going to benefit one party or another more than the other one?
Probably in some very small 3% or less manner.
I don't. In fact, I'm going to tell you this right now. Batten down the hatches. If this helps anybody, it's Harris. And here's why. Because the people that were not wanting to vote for Harris had already made up their mind. The economy's crap. The Democratic Party is crap. Everything is crap. Foreign policy is crap. All this stuff is crap. I can't vote for Harris. Don't want to vote for Trump. So I'm not going to vote for Trump, but I can't vote for Harris. So I'm going to vote for RFK. And when RFK pulls out, they're left with the decision again between the enemy that you know, who's awful, Kamala Harris, and Trump that 50% of this country has TDS with, Trump derangement syndrome.
But the problem is, we've lived through a Trump administration too.
I get it,
and we lived through a Trump administration better than we've lived through
people
a
were
Biden-Harris administration.
People were not voting RFK if they liked Trump. If they liked Trump, they were going to vote for Trump. I think people didn't want to vote for Biden/Harris and we're going to vote for RFK. And now that RFK is out, they're still left with the unenviable decision. Do I vote for
Chase Oliver? Yes,
do I vote for Kamala Harris or do I vote for Trump, who I already didn't want to vote for, which is why I was voting for RFK Jr. in the first place. If this helps anybody, it's Harris. And by the way, Paul said, please cite an article. I'm not going to cite the article because there are no articles. I'm going specifically off of comments made on my Facebook page where some of our Republican brethren are posting on my page about how, well, Trump was already going to win by 6, and now he's going to get an extra 5, so now he's going to win by 10. Like, they're doing all the math, Lori.
I think 5's too big.
I think it is too, Lori.
I think so, too. However, I have been out of reliable Wi-Fi for over 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So did something change in the last 24 hours? Because, and here's why I'm asking, originally when RFK came out on Friday.
RFK came out of the closet?
About the election. The states where he is projected to hurt Trump are the states he's leaving, but he's still on the ballot where he's projected to hurt Harris. So
Sure.
Did he go off of the ballot, or is he completely out?
None of that has changed.
Okay.
Now, Democrats are suing in some instances to try to
Right.
get him off those ballots, which, by the way, I think is fair. Okay, honestly. If you've dropped out, if you're not in the race anymore,
Right.
then
Then you're
take
not in
them
the
off.
race anymore.
Then
Yeah.
take them off.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is some states have already prepared their ballots. There's a big cost behind them and all of that. So, Phil, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you followed his actual RFK's presentation when he was announcing this. Did you listen to any of that? Or you
I
just-
heard snippets. I didn't watch the
Okay.
whole thing. He makes me
listen-
want to eat a barrel of a shotgun.
He's rough to listen to, that voice problem he has. But
Yeah.
he basically said the states where he doesn't make a difference, staying on the ballot. States where he knows he'd make a difference, he doesn't want to be interfering with. So he's pulling from the ballots on purpose. I get your point. Is it a big deal, or will he make a difference? I don't know, but I was encouraged though to see him. Back in, he had 3 specific things he says is important to him, and believes Trump would back on those issues.
What were the 3 things? Do you remember?
It basically had to do with
immigration.
Was it immigration?
Was immigration one of them?
I know nutrition was one of them. The food thing.
Yeah.
Vaccine.
Well, I don't think vaccines was the thing with him and Trump, but the second one was Ukraine war. He's like, what can we do to cut back on this
Foreign involvement? Yeah.
This. I mean, pretty confident if Trump had been president, we probably wouldn't be seeing the nonsense we're seeing. And
I think that's true.
He cited situations. He's like, some guy named Johnson went in, just was sent from Biden and just stirred things up. Things were on their way to being, resolved and peaceful, and they just screwed it up.
Yeah, childhood obesity and nutrition, Paul said. Phil is correct, the Ukraine war, food safety. Listen, I need to make this clear to everybody before I talk about the clear game of phone tag that Rick Eckert and Paul were making with each other during the broadcast. I don't advocate for Harris. I'm not rooting for Harris. I don't want Harris. Given the choice of what I have, it's Harris or Trump. I want Trump. Okay? But here's the problem.
Vote Chase
Unlike you people. Who are you calling you people? Unlike you people who continue to fraudulently fool yourselves every single 2 years. It's going to be a red wave, and Republicans are going to take over, and they're going to win all these seats, and they're going to win the legislature. It's not happening, guys. It's not happening. It's not happening in the state, and it's not happening nationally. Okay?
Oh, it's
2 years
definitely
ago,
not happening here.
2 years ago, there was supposed to be this giant red wave, and what happened? Anybody who aligned themselves with Trump had their asses handed to them. Okay? So please be rational enough to see the writing that's on the wall. Now, Paul and Paul and Rick were both like, he hasn't dropped out. He's just suspended. Oh, stop it. Nobody suspends a campaign and then comes back. Nobody suspends their campaign and 2 weeks later decides, holy crap, I had way more supporters than I thought I did. I'm going to come back, Phil.
But historically, nobody actually ends the campaign. They just suspend it.
Yes.
That's just what they do.
And there's reasons why, because you can still fundraise even if you're suspended, okay? So I know he didn't officially end his campaign, but let's be honest. He ended his campaign. Suspended or not, it's over. It's done. He's kaput.
It's surprising though. Kennedy is Democrat through and through. You know.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
but he's really not. I mean, he is
the Kennedy name.
The Kennedy name is Democrat, but he's an interesting cat.
Yeah,
he's an interesting cat. I just
is that your word for it?
Yeah, interesting cat. Look, everybody in their chat's saying I'm wrong, and that's okay. It's totally okay. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Corey said I've been wrong about all my political predictions this year. I don't think any of my political predictions have been proven incorrect, with the exception of Lori. Stop passing. With the exception of the semi-bird pick. I think that's the only one that I've been proven wrong on so far.
Did you already get the $300 bottle of?
No, Robert needs to send me what kind of tequila he wants. He hasn't.
I'll ask him.
Hey,
Robert.
He hasn't given me the brand yet, so as soon as he gives it to me, I'll take care of it.
I think you guys were leaving it up to each other.
I think he wants
but you were getting a nice bottle
Thunderbird.
Just get Walmart's finest.
He wants Thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
He wants like a Schlitz malt liquor. Anyway, yeah, he wants a Mad Dog 2020.
You know what Schlitz gives you?
The Schlitz, and I can say Schlitz on the radio. Look, I know everybody in the chat disagrees with me, and that's okay. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat it. But we're never going to know if I'm wrong.
Rick has a good point.
We're never going to know. Hold on, we will know. There is one way to know. If Kamala or Trump win by like double digits, then we'll know. But that's the only way that we'll know. Rick said, by suspended, he remains an option if the Electoral College ends in a 269-269 tie. Not likely, but an option. Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. And by the way, he's still not an option. I mean, he might be an option, but he's not an option. I mean, Republicans run the House right now. They would hand it back to Trump. I was wrong on the vice presidential pick, and Joe going to be the candidate. All right, Corey. What do you have like a little?
He's got a spreadsheet. Corey's
got like Excel documents on his page. He's like, here's where Kevin was wrong. He's drawing lines and has formulas computing.
I love it, Corey.
Corey, go have some more Schlitz malt liquor. All right. More of the show. We're back after this. We'll look at your comments in the chat during the Facebook break on AM. Enjoy the commercials. It's the Outlaw Radio Network, brought to you by Black Ring Spirits. Back after this. Outlaw Radio. Corey says he doesn't drink. Damn it.
It's okay, Corey. I'll drink for you.
Sharp as a tack.
All right, so hold on. So the vice presidential pick I was wrong on when I was sure that he was going to pick. What did I say her name was? Now I've forgotten her name.
Elise
Stefanik.
Stefanik. Yeah, I thought for sure it'd be Stefanik. I was all down with that clown. I thought for sure he was going to pick Stefanik. I was wrong. Corey's correct. Biden being the candidate.
Tom was right.
Hold on.
Tom was right.
If Biden had not bombed that debate, he would still be the candidate.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed not.
If he had not bombed the debate, he'd still be the candidate.
Guaranteed not.
The entire reason he's not the candidate is because he was on a national platform and the entire country saw him wet himself.
Yep. So that was going to happen, which is
Depends.
why I said no. Which is why I said
I meant like
ago.
depends undergarments. I didn't mean
well,
like depends. I meant depends like undergarments, which Joe has to wear.
I see what you did there.
You like that?
But I said months ago he was never going to be the candidate. He was never going to make it through public scrutiny on the campaign trail. Never.
I disagree. Because
Never.
I think his people would have done what they'd been doing, which is trying to keep his head down.
You can't
Which the
hide
Secret
him
Service
on the
couldn't do for Trump, by the way. Ask his ear.
You can't hide him during the campaign trail.
You can, though.
No, but you can't. He has to make public appearances.
I don't think he. I don't think
Kamala
he has
doesn't.
To. I don't think he has to.
Yeah,
Kamala
and
has
she's
to.
going to lose her ass if she doesn't.
Okay, we're talking about that next because I got bad juju about this election. No. I got bad juju about this election. I'm going to tell you why in a second. Has Paul said about when he's going to be here?
Yeah, he said about 15, 20 minutes late.
Okay, so it's a half hour. He should be here any second. We'll get Paul in here as well.
Allegedly.
360-874-1400 is the number to call. If you want to call in and disagree with me, you're more than welcome to. If you want a video call in, put a note in the chat, and I'll private message you a video call link, and you can video call into the show. I'd like to start letting you guys do that.
This thing's acting weird. We're back.
Oh, we're back on AM?
I'm watching this thing. I'm like, it's got another 30 seconds. Oh, nope, it doesn't.
Oh.
Paul said he's literally coming around the mall. Paul, don't get yourself in trouble, Paul. Coming around the mall. That could be a felony. All right. Okay. I've been rare form, man. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. I had a busy day.
I was going to say, I'm a little...
By the way, can I give you guys some advice as we're back on AM?
Mm-hmm.
So Applebee's is doing this all-you-can-eat thing with shrimp or brisket or chicken sauce chicken tenders.
Does it have to be an or? Is there an and option?
You can end it. You can make do shrimp first time, and then when you get your refill, you can go for the chicken or whatever. Right? Don't do it.
Is it a challenge?
No.
How much?
Don't do it. It's $16.99 for all you can eat. Don't do it.
How much could you eat?
The shrimp, I didn't do it. I can't do all you can eats anymore. The shrimp was okay. Okay. The chicken nuggets the chicken tenders, whatever you want to call them, were awful. I mean, literally the worst chicken I have ever had in my entire life.
You get better nuggets at McDonald's?
You get better nuggets at McDonald's. You get better nuggets at Burger King, and they're not as good as McDonald's. It is the worst chicken I've ever had in my entire life. And if you're from Applebee's and you're listening to this show right now, I'm sorry. You guys do other goods. You guys do other stuff really well, like your garlic master, really good. But your chicken nuggets, those things are awful, and you need to you stop.
Do you get better nuggets from Paul's Chicken Coop?
I don't know. I've never been involved.
He's never been invited there.
So you weren't fancy?
Never been invited there.
Fancy.
By the way, coming up at 10:30, and I don't know if you guys saw this, we're going to debut a new segment called "Get Off My Lawn," where we are all going to pick one thing we want to complain about, and we're going to complain about whatever it is. I don't care what it is. It does not have to be political. Excellent. It can be social. It can be about your cable company. It can be about the fact that you just got off of a vacation from Boise and you've had to come back here to this evil, God forbidden, overtaxed state. Whatever you want to do, it's totally up to you. We'll do that at 10:30, and then at 10:45 tonight we'll do some football picks.
I like football.
It's football season.
It is football season. Wabbit season. Duck season. Fire. Yeah. So it is. It is. Yeah.
Wait,
I'm
did
pulling
you guys,
out the weird references tonight?
Did you guys already discuss the whole Scott Service and
No, we
Dan
haven't.
Wilson?
Wait. That move pissed me off too. We'll talk about that later. That's what I'm ranting about and get off my lawn. By the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to. Steal
Mariners
your
fire
thing.
their manager. Scott Service, get out of town. Shoo.
I don't care.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's not sign any good players. Let's bring in a whole bunch of people that can't hit and haven't hit in a long time. Let's play in a ballpark that makes it really hard for people to hit. Bring in subpar hitters, field really good pitchers, but no hitters, and then act surprised when we flush a 10-game lead down the toilet, you morons. How about you fire the general manager and ownership? You don't fire your head coach, your manager. You get rid of your GM. Because he's the schmuck that brought these people in. Jerry DiPoto should have been run out of town on a rail.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
You feel better?
Okay, so Lori brought up on the Facebook side about the election, and Tom said that he believed Kamala was going to get their butts handed to them in the election. That's what you said? You said that Kamala was going to have her butt handed to her, that she was going to lose big time.
I did not say big time.
No.
I never said that.
Is Paul out there? Lori, do you want to go get Pollywog?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Paul, Lori's on her way.
Sorry, Lori, you lost.
Yeah. We all drew straws.
Yeah, obviously.
So do you think Kamala's going to win? No. Or you think Trump's going to win? Or you think Biden's going to win? Maybe Biden still wins.
Maybe Biden still wins.
Given the state of this political country,
it could happen.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Joe Biden with his vice presidential candidate, RFK Jr. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm. Now that Biden is definitely not the guy, and RFK has dropped out, that it's kind of made things interesting. I thought we were going to see more third-party interest this cycle, but I think the environment's changed. So it's probably going to be really close, but I think it's probably going to go to Trump.
I mean, she's campaigning, at least with the DNC thing, and it's scary. I mean, it's downright. She's pulling her base, but it's just not with any truth that I can tell. Just lots of rhetoric.
Well,
I mean, makes Trump look good.
Yeah, and it's coming back up in the chat. The only thing that I said about Harris is if she doesn't go public, if she doesn't make herself available to the people, she'll definitely lose.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite. I think if she keeps her head down and she doesn't go public and she controls her appearances, it will help her. I think if she goes out on the campaign trail and she's more public and people have to listen to her word salad and listen to her cackle and listen to some of the proposals that she's going to give that aren't really going to be like whittled down to like public consumption manner, and she's just out in front of crowds, I think it will. I think that will hurt her.
Well, I mean, we can say the same thing about Trump, though, right?
Because people expect it from Trump,
right? But if Trump can maintain his composure and kind of behave the same way he did during the debate, where he just let Joe Biden make Joe Biden look like Joe Biden.
Yeah, but Kamala's a different animal than Biden, right?
Right. But
he can't go into it with that same objective, can he?
But if Kamala's handlers can keep Kamala, whatever. Harris, if Harris's handlers can keep her from cackles and word salad, she might make a good showing. And if Trump's handlers can keep him from being, Trump, then he'll make a good showing. But I mean, I really, this election's all about handlers.
Hey, St. Paul, the voice of reason, is here. Hello, St. Paul. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was driving in, and it occurred to me I needed to explain something to you guys.
Yes.
So I heard you guys talking about anaphylaxis.
Anaphylaxis.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood who Anna is.
Oh, yeah. I've been.
Yeah, she's the tickle in the back of Kamala's throat.
Oh.
Listen. I'm
this
gonna
coming from the only guy I know that could take a New York strip and turn it into a Gaza strip. So sorry, I love that.
That's such a horrible joke. I don't even know where you got. But anyway, here, listen. If I'm not mistaken, Lori, Tom, please correct me. If I am mistaken on this, Phil, I'm sure keeps notes on this. So if I'm wrong, one of you guys will tell me. But didn't Kevin make it very clear that it's in poor taste for us to make fun of or talk about Kamala's deep-throating practices to move up in the political world?
I never said that.
Did Kevin point that out to us? That's what my memory serves.
I don't think I ever said that.
I wasn't talking to you, Sparky.
I
was asking them. That's why I was asking them.
And actually, Paul, I have to come to Kevin's defense on
no,
this
don't.
one.
If you're going to, then just be quiet.
I don't think that he ever said that.
He's never said a nice thing about a libertarian candidate. He hates your party and craps on you every chance he gets.
No, I do
The least
know
you
that.
can do is zip it.
I'm just trying to go with facts as I remember.
I have no shot.
You're literally sticking up for him, and he can't help himself.
I know he can't help
It's
himself.
like scratching his ass with
Sparky.
hemorrhoids. He just can't help it.
Have you guys heard the new libertarian theme
No,
song,
first
by the
I
way?
want to know why we can't talk about Kamala Harris's sexual practices to get to the top. Because for months we've had to listen to Donald Trump slept with a porn star. So if his sexual, if his
I don't know if that's how that would go down.
If I mean, knee pads are knee pads, right?
We need to call in Kaepernick. Someone needs a kneel on this.
Right.
Dual purpose.
Take a knee.
Dual purpose. Here's the point, though, right? We've heard these people and everybody on the left. Every time you talk about how she, she sucked off Willie Brown in order to get moved up in the political contingent where she was working, right? You can't say that about her. Sexist. I'm pretty sure we've had to listen to Donald Trump's choices about sleeping with a porn star consistently for over a year. Let's not talk about the fake rape allegations against E. Jean Carroll, who vociferously repeated an entire storyline from CSI. We don't need to get into that.
But he was convicted of sexual assault.
I don't care. How many innocent people you think are sitting on death row right now?
Not OJ.
So what do we believe more, the conviction of Trump or the conviction of Jan 6ers?
I think here's the reality. Anybody who looks at those court cases, and again, I go back to it. This is really simple. Anybody who thinks a black man in the 50s would get a fair trial in the Deep South is an idiot. Anybody who thinks Donald Trump got a fair trial in New York is an idiot. It's that simple. Now, you can sit there and hide behind, well, he was convicted by a jury of his peers. Really? Really? Go look at the judge's decisions during what evidence was allowed, what evidence wasn't, what arguments could be made and what arguments couldn't. And then with a straight face, try to tell me that those were fair trials. And let's not even get into the idea that Letitia James ran on the platform of, I will get Donald Trump. Like, do I need to go on? But I can. So we can keep going because then we have another prosecutor in New York. Oh gosh, what's his name?
Why are you changing the subject?
I'm not changing it. I'm just making a point. He's kind of fat, round, oval face.
Oprah?
Black guy who also said, if you elect me, I will get Trump. What was his name? Could have been Oprah. Could have been. Yeah. I'm not sure about the state that he lives in, but, you know, it could have been Oprah. I don't remember the guy's name. I'm sorry. I don't. It escapes me. You can't expect radio talk show people to remember everything.
Bragg.
Oh, that's it, Bragg.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah,
Alan
Nancy,
Bragg.
thank you.
Nancy.
Thank you. And listen, folks in the chat room, if I'm getting anything wrong here, please feel free to correct me.
Oh, they will. They will. We got Corey with his Excel spreadsheets of all the time Kevin's been wrong. They are running a list.
We're just waiting for Holly to show up. She'll tell you why you're wrong.
All the things that Kevin's picked wrong this year.
Holly will be wearing a back brace and knee pads.
I'm not even going to acknowledge her. I'm not going to acknowledge her to do what she should. I'm not even going to go there. I'm done with it.
Paul's reviews are not necessarily
That's true too. Lori's telling
Can you guys start
of Outlaw Radio Network?
We need to get on iTunes so we can start people can rate us on iTunes because you can get like 0 to 5 stars.
I thought we were on iTunes.
We're not on iTunes.
We've
never been on iTunes.
That's where
Spotify.
you put your You got to get your podcast set up.
Okay, so can we work on that, Phil? And by we, I mean you.
Yeah, in my spare time.
Yes.
Anyways.
All right.
I now have more work.
So, Paul,
Yes, ma'am.
Margie just said,
totally
wait.
understand
Margie just said, are you saying Kamala had sex with monkeys? That's not what he said, Margie.
What?
It's not what he said.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Well, I'm going to put it up so people don't think I'm making things up. Margie said, are you saying Kamala had sex with monkeys? It's not what we said.
Wow,
All
Margie,
right.
what's
For
what
sure,
are you watching?
not what I said. His name was Willie Brown, and Willie could be his first name or just an appendage. We don't know. However, I'm pretty sure he went by the name Willie Brown. Because he's great friends with Donald Trump too, right?
What?
Is he?
Yeah.
Is Willie Brown a friend?
Yes, according
They
to Donald
were.
Trump, they were friends. Yes,
Yeah.
and Trump managed to point out that word from Willie was Kamala was not all she was cracked up to be. Get it? That cackle cracked up to be.
All right.
Don't
Anyway.
Lori about snorted stuff out her nose. Right here, it's okay. Anyway,
We come back after commercial. Can we go back to and talk with you a little bit?
Yes,
about
we
the
can. But
Robert
Lori
F.
wanted
Kennedy
to
thing?
talk to me and
Go
you
ahead,
interrupted
Lori.
her like
Anyways,
3 times.
I just find it really interesting. Tom, are you
Breathe,
okay?
Tom.
You broke Tom.
I just find it really interesting, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years are between Donald Trump's age
Yeah.
and Kamala Harris,
I can
or
tell
we'll
you.
go Trump and Harris.
Isn't it like 30-some years or something like that?
Is it really that much
I
of a
think
gap?
she's in her late 50s, early 60s. I believe.
Trump is 78
Okay.
and Kamala is 59. So 20.
Okay.
Okay.
And so
19.
I just find it super interesting because, Trump is from that era where, sexual misconduct, all of that, it gets out in the public, it's horrific, blah, blah. But yet, Kamala's younger.
Yeah.
So not a big deal, the disco era and all that stuff.
You're right. It is an interesting
Double standard.
Because I don't honestly give a damn about her and Willie. Like, I don't care.
Right.
I look at it as one of those flippant things where it's like you're going to sit there and you're going to talk smack about Trump and a porn star. Dude was horny. What do you want? I mean, like, if he even slept with her, because she's come out with like 4 different versions of her own story.
Right.
I'm assuming he did. But, I mean, they also said a hooker peed on him in Moscow. So it's like, you never know what to believe anymore. Do
Yeah.
you really? I mean,
Right.
I don't. I don't know what to believe.
I'm more concerned, I think, about Kamala's husband, Doug
Yeah.
Emhoff,
Doug.
All right.
because
Hold
he
the
has
thought.
a proclivity for young children. The
Yeah,
nanny,
huh?
The nanny.
All right, hold on.
Oh,
Outlaw Radio,
yeah,
hold
that's
on.
right.
We're back after this.
Hold on, I want to talk about the nanny.
More nanny talk. After this, by St. Paul, the voice of Gaza.
This isn't that kind of station.
But it
will
could
be in a
be.
minute. We'll be in a minute. Back after this.
Wait, Corey, it's okay if you're talking about Kevin with this comment, but I really hope to God you weren't talking about me. What do you mean AI is going to put the beta males out of work? Not a beta. Hello. I mean, I'm willing to go toe-to-toe over this motherfucker. Like, you want to come down here, we'll arm wrestle or something, toe wrestle, finger wrestle.
You just gave
I don't know. Maybe
Jander
I'll buy
Kennedy's
you
got a semi.
maybe I'll buy you a drink. I don't know. There is nothing beta male about my ass, son. Look.
Do I miss a
In all
topic
due
here?
honesty, I mean, Kevin is not entirely another story. Tom, definitely not a beta male. No beta male plays with swords, okay? And makes whiskey. Best of both worlds. Now, I don't honestly think Kevin is a beta male either, but damn, I can see how you would see that. I do. God. It's not. Are you okay, Tom? Did you bring product with you tonight, or something?
No, I've been blending whiskey today.
Okay. Well, you're just blending though, but that's not. Are you tasting while you're blending?
How do you think you blend?
I don't know, Tom. I don't make whiskey.
You drank a lot.
Okay.
Spoken like a true beta.
Okay. Fair enough. Are you like drinking it, or is it like a wine tasting where you're just tasting it and spitting it out?
I don't spit.
Nope. No words.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Roll with it.
Nope.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When
Roll
the man
with it,
sitting
baby.
to your left says, "Nope, I don't spit," that's where the conversation ends.
So can I'm gonna
roll with it.
Who said that Emhoff had a thing for young children because he had an affair with the nanny?
Well,
the nanny was 47 years old when he had the affair with her. She was 47 years old.
Wait, hold on, Kevin. You're saying that with a great deal of certainty. You're not exactly rolling
Whatever.
with a
Shut
lot
up.
of...
Why do I even come on this show anymore if I say anything and Paul's response is going to be, "Well, you're wrong."
Here's the problem, Kevin, and I love you dearly, and you know
the
as a
nanny
friend,
was Najeen Naylor, and she was 47.
yeah, he nailed
years
her.
old.
I'm just going to say this to you as a friend, right? It's because you speak with such certainty in everything you say. Like, I am right. Hear K-Dog roar. And well, we love you, but you're just not always right. And you have an ego to match your ego size. And
What's that mean?
well, it means if he could get away with naming his lower body part Johnson, he probably would. It's just it just comes with the territory, and that was the
Hello,
one
it's
thing.
named Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Thank you. Back after this on Outlaw.
Truth like poetry. Nobody likes poetry. Are you eating little candies that look like phalluses?
No, these are like gummy fish. Try one. There's no sugar in them though.
Okay, I saw the back side of it. Looked like a gummy dick.
No, it's not. It's a
checking.
fish. It's like a
All
Swedish fish, but it's a no sugar Swedish fish.
There's no sugar
Yeah.
in the gummy?
No sugar.
Here,
in it.
Tom, you don't spit.
It's good. By the way, that was the K-Dog theme song. You want to put your woman in a little bit of mood? Play the K-Dog theme song. All right, listen.
Or hit her in the back of the head with a club and use chloroform.
So,
Damn.
anyway.
Oh, those are not terrible.
No, they're not bad at all. There's no sugar in them, so I can have them. Okay, listen. Here, you can try one too. Listen. The nanny was 47.
Yes, I think his hands are clean, but don't
The
spit.
nanny was 47.
Okay.
Okay?
There's
So,
no way the nanny could have been 15, or maybe there was another nanny.
The one that got pregnant was 47.
We get pregnant.
Better that than a
47?
She
15-year-old.
got pregnant by Emhoff.
That is geriatric of all get out. Wow.
She was employed at the same private
Dang,
school
Phil.
that Emhoff's
That's what it is.
children
That's a
went to.
geriatric pregnancy. I've been through one.
It is geriatric but it happens.
That's right. We got pregnant. That's how that works.
Clearly Emhoff has very powerful, potent swimmers.
Yeah, there's more to it than. But anyway.
I know. Listen, I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on the radio. So anyway,
God, it's
this whole
late.
thing that Emhoff's got a thing for little children. Listen, that's one of those things that gets used as ammo now in politics.
How many bad choices must a 47-year-old nanny have made somewhere along the line to be 47 and still be a nanny?
No, she was a teacher at the
even better.
school.
Okay.
What's wrong with teachers,
I mean,
Paul?
being a nanny, you could be a nanny and make good money.
Yeah, what's wrong?
I'm sure. I saw
Wait a
Mary
minute. What's
Poppins.
wrong with teacher? I said she's a teacher, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, what's wrong with teachers, Paul?
Because it's just the way you made it sound. She wasn't just a nanny; she was also a teacher.
She was a teacher.
Was
at
his
the
kid
private,
her pupil?
She
or?
was a teacher at the private school where his kids attended, but she wasn't their teacher.
Talk about nailing the
I'm
teacher.
I'm just.
Isn't there a song about that?
Van Halen. Got it bad, bad, bad. I'm hot for teacher.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Then turned right around and did a commercial that said, "Don't say Merry Christmas."
By the
How
way,
dare you?
do you know who performed at the Kitsap County Fair last night?
No idea.
Heart to Heart opened, which I was totally
Okay.
fine with. Okay, they're a good band.
Yeah.
They didn't sound great last night, but they were a good band. Then Winger.
Winger. Dude,
remember Winger?
How many of them were using walkers or wheelchairs?
Like Kip Winger.
Kip, like the band Winger. She's only 17. Really? That's what you brought into the Kitsap County Fair.
She's 47 now.
In this day and age, you're going to have some guys up there in their 60s
singing She's
only 17. Okay, guys. Whatevs. Good job, Kitsap County Fair and Stampede. You guys
How many of them
outdid
were still
yourself.
wearing leather and had their hair done with Aquanet?
I have no idea.
Were you there?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
When I left, Heart to Heart was performing, and I parked kind of by the.
And they're a class act, by the way. I don't know if we'd ever told the story on air, but their first performance as a new act was in Kitsap County at the Garage.
Okay.
And I was working there at the time. It was one of the security gigs that I worked.
Okay.
And I was personally selected to be their private security. So I had to sit in the trailer with them and outside the trailer and that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, I'm saying this with all due sincerity. Their lead guitar player at the time, his name was Randy. I forget his last name, but he was in the music video with the comedian did the song Wild Thing. I forget, Sam Kinison, and I forget his last name, but he was best friends growing up with Jimi Hendrix. So basically, he had a Jimi Hendrix tribute act that he did and everything. Dude was a phenomenal guitar player. And then you had the bass player Jeff Fossen and the drummer Jim DeRozier. Both were a couple of the original members of Heart and were both in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Heart. So they, their rights and all that things to the different music, and so they basically got to perform original Heart songs that they were involved with. That's why the name of the band is Heart by Heart, right? They also had a keyboarder at the time when they first started.
Okay.
The keyboarder was a famous radio personality.
Bob Rivers?
Bob Rivers.
Yep.
Yeah. And
surprised I knew that?
What a character. No, I'm strangely not surprised you know that. But anyway, what a character, right? Here's what I was going to say about them. I did not know people could consume so much pot and still be alive. Like, oh my God. They were joking about having engaged and devoured over $300 worth of pot in the hour and a half to 2 hours leading up to performance. All of them still walking?
Yeah, but that was in the days before it was legal.
No, this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was not that long ago.
Oh, never mind then.
So oh my God, man. I was like,
$300 worth of
I
pot
could
is a
barely
bit.
walk, and I was standing at the door of the trailer, not partaking.
$300
Sure
is
you
a
weren't,
bit.
Paul.
It was a lot, dude. There was a constant haze hanging about 3 feet all the way up to the ceiling of the trailer. That was insanely crazy. And it is quite possible Randy was the only one partaking. That is quite possible. And he made no bones about it, dude. He's just like, I live on this stuff, man. Clearly. Yeah, like oxygen.
Daily.
Anyway, but great group of people, man. They were really cool. I mean, you'd have never known that, these are, two of them are, Hall of Fame rock and rollers, man. They were completely down to earth. Didn't drink, nothing before the show.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't really impressed with them from what I heard last night.
I mean, listen, it was outdoor show.
Outdoor, cold
could have
show.
affected.
Yeah. Listen, I went to a Journey show with the Gorge one year. Was them and Def Leppard. It was pouring down rain, and their voices were shot because it's hard to sing in that kind of weather.
It's hard to sing when there's tornadoes and lightning striking the area too, which is what happened at the Gorge this weekend.
Did it really?
What?
Yeah, they had to evacuate the grounds. It might have been like Thursday or
Okay,
Friday, but it was
Kevin.
a few days ago.
You're going to blame it on the rain?
Oh,
Blame it
you went
on
Milli
the
Vanilli.
rain.
You know, on the other side of the coin,
Let's
though,
blame it on Hussein.
I saw the Beach Boys at the Gorge. It was a outdoor show, the end of the season, and it was just a crappy day in September.
Yeah.
It was cold and drizzly and just not good concert, weather. That was such a great show.
Typical Washington weather.
They crushed that
Well,
show.
they are used to singing on the waterfront.
Yeah, I guess.
It's all beach song. It's all wave music, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they were
used to the cold, moist atmosphere.
Did you
I think
say
a
moist?
You know moist, right, Tom?
I like moist.
Okay.
I like moist.
Yeah.
But usually beaches are warm and moist, not cold and moist.
You haven't spent much time in Alaska, have you?
No, I've done Alaska.
It's a joke, Tom.
Yeah,
it's a joke. You said
I-
warm. Beaches are warm.
Beaches are
They're
warm.
not all warm.
The Beach Boys beaches are warm.
Anyway, all right. So what was your topic that you wanted to wait until I got here on, Kevin?
Well, no, because we've only got 5 minutes left
Yeah.
because you've talked about a whole bunch of stuff that nobody gives two craps about. But can we go back to the RFK thing real
We
quick?
can.
I don't believe that the RFK thing benefits anybody. I think it'll be a net nil.
What do you base that on?
The idea that people were voting for him because they didn't want to vote for Trump or Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So when he drops out, I think people are going to resort back to what their options are,
Okay.
which is going to be either another third-party candidate that has no shot, or they're going to go back to whatever party they're going to pinch their nose to vote for. I think it's going to be like a net nil. It's
Totally
gonna break
understand.
even.
Totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
The RFK voter is generally it falls into the 7% crowd of single issue voters. These are not multifaceted, multi-issue voters. Okay, Kev?
Okay.
So these are not people who are saying, I'm going to vote for RFK because he's this on abortion, he's this on the economy, he's this on this and this and this and this, right? They don't care about his big, long list of policies like they do from Kamala Harris or from Donald Trump, right? These are not those kinds of voters.
Mm-hmm.
The voters that were going with the JFK ticket wanted to vote for JFK because he was into these more myopic kind of singular issues that were huge for some people in their lives. You've got the food supply, right? You've got you know talking about Monsanto and different kinds of things and how they're grown. He talked very adamantly about the obesity epidemic within children in the United States, processed food, the FDA, right? There are issues with vaccines, but his issue with vaccines are safe vaccines. He's not an anti-vaxxer, which I just get so sick of hearing because people that say that are just ignorant about the guy and his stance on those issues. Again, he's all about about safe vaccines on a safe schedule and not giving so many. That's more in tune with his issues. He wants to do. He's very, very concerned about the topsoil issue in the United States of America. Even more so is his running mate. Like these are the kinds of issues that his voters are looking for. So when he comes out there and the numbers tell us that he commanded 3 to 5% of the general electorate. That's where he was polling at, and he's at his low point, right? Mm-hmm. And that's after all of the hit pieces that have been run in the East Coast newspapers against him. By whom? By the Democrats, who have done what? Prevented him from running as a Democrat, which is what he wanted to do, who refused as Democrats to give him Secret Service protection as he deserved. You know, there are a whole lot of issues surrounding him that are going on there, and he just got to the point where he just told the 3 to 5% that are going to vote for him, you know what? This guy over here is willing to support these issues that are important to me, and if they're important to me, they're important to you. 3 to 5% of the people that have supported me.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be such a dramatic shift back to Trump. I mean, I think
nobody said it was going to be.
No, but again, I'm gauging this off of comments and responses on my posts on Facebook and the things I'm seeing my Republican friends post.
Yes, Randy Hansen. Thank you. Go ahead.
I think it's going to be a net negative, a net break even.
Yeah, I know. I heard you say that.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to matter.
Here's what I will say to you about that. You're basing that on your emotions and your feelings about the issue, and that's totally fair.
No, I don't think it's based on emotions and feelings.
Well, you're not basing it on any facts.
Sure, I am. The fact is, people were voting.
What? People's comments on Facebook?
No, people were voting for him because they didn't want to vote for Tweedledee or Tweedledum.
I think you're completely off base with that.
You think so?
I do. I don't. Again, there 7% of Americans are single issue voters. They vote for a candidate because of one specific issue.
I think,
and those are the voters that JFK was appealing to. JFK. Kennedy.
And I think it's a bigger chunk of the population.
It may be. I'm being conservative.
Yeah. Because I think most single issue I can't talk. Voters.
Last I read was about 7% of Americans were single issue voters.
I think that number is bigger because
it very well could be.
There's a large chunk of them that fall into line either blue or red, and they just vote all D or vote all R because of whatever their single issue is.
Oh, yes.
Right,
yeah, sure.
On.
Yeah.
Yes. Top of the hour news is next on the AM. For those of you on Facebook, we'll check your comments. Stick around. More of the Outlaw Radio Network. After this, brought to you by Black Ring Spirits. Get drunk.
If you haven't seen your wife naked in 8 years, Black Ring Spirits.
All right, Outlaw Radio. You're really fired up tonight, Paul.
I'm really not.
You really are. Do you guys agree, Paul?
I have to be the antithesis of I have to be the anti-Kev. I have to come in full of piss and vinegar and knee pads because somebody has to counter Kevin.
I don't. This is talk radio, Paul. I'm supposed to come out with
yes, I know.
hard opinions
totally
and hot takes and share and be convicted.
Totally agree.
And then when I do that, you mock me like
I'm not mocking you.
And you use it to belittle me.
Zoom in the camera. Let me mansplain it to you.
Oh, please do.
Wasn't one of you the loose cannon and the other the voice of reason?
Reason, logic, sanity.
Voice of Gaza.
And earlier, one of them was blacked out Tom.
Blacked out Tom.
Boy, he was laughing like he was ready.
We might have to. You're right, Phil. We might have to change his name. Blacked out Tom.
He was laughing so.
And Lori was a CEO. No, you don't.
So on RFK, did you notice how all the lawsuits he was able to pretty much get on every state? That's quite an accomplishment.
Well,
and that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Does it help anyone in the future?
Does it help anyone?
Sets precedent.
You're right. It very well
You'll
could.
never get tired of hearing that.
Well, it just shows how alike you are with Kevin. There's nothing wrong with that, Phil. There's nothing wrong with that.
I always remember. Remember that time I was wrong?
Yeah.
Turns out I was mistaken.
Yeah.
It happens.
Terry said, Paul is hilarious tonight. Love the show tonight. Terry, don't egg him on. Don't encourage him. Nonsense.
When your opponent is afraid of you, you can see it in his eyes. Kevin, look right up there at the camera.
I'm not afraid of anything about
look
you,
up
Madden.
at the camera, Kev. There you go. Good
not afraid of anything having to do
See how he
with
does
you.
what I tell him?
Not afraid of anything. Because I'm right. Listen.
Okay.
I'm right.
Okay.
Harris is going to win the election. I don't want her to, but she's going to. Sideshow Bob is going to win the election for governor. I don't want him to, but he's going to.
Why are you being so gloomy,
because
man?
we can't
He's
have
not
nice
being
things.
gloomy. He's being a moron.
Really?
Yes. You're not basing this stuff on anything. You're
Yes,
just,
I am.
You're just like, I'm going to hate to tell everybody this. Because nobody can prove anything wrong one way or the other.
They'll know.
He also
day
said
after the
Semi
election.
Bird,
Because after the election, if Trump wins, you're going to be like, boy, I've never been so happy to be wrong, but I was just using reverse psychology. I knew that if I said Trump was going to lose, he actually might win.
No,
that
come
would
on.
be your take.
That wasn't my take when Bird lost. And I said
No,
that
your take when Bird lost was, yeah, I knew that was coming.
But I also said that I would rather have Reichert. I think he's a more electable candidate than Bird is. But I thought Bird was going to get it because the party was
Speaking
behind him.
of Reichert,
Yes.
did you see the article that I posted? I believe it was late Friday night is when the news broke that our illustrious governor wannabe bobblehead, Bob, basically dropped out and said, I will not debate Dave Reichert.
Oh, yeah, I saw him withdraw from the debate.
I would like to say I can't believe that, but I totally believe it. It's like we're seeing more and more of this on the political spectrum, not from Republicans, but from Democrats. This idea that, well, if I just don't do certain things and don't talk and be heard, I have less of a chance to screw shit up.
Andrew Kennedy, really quick in chat, says, get off my lawn. Mansplaining is educational. Sometimes women just don't listen. Thank you, Andrew Kennedy.
Okay, but having said that, Lori was about to speak before you cut her off there.
I know, that's why I shared that first. Go ahead, Lori.
Anyways,
Go ahead,
one
Lori.
of the things I've noticed in that whole article about Bob Ferguson,
Yeah.
again,
Turd
not
Ferguson.
defending the dude, don't want him to be elected, was that they never confirmed with his team. that he was.
That's what Ferguson said?
No, that's what the debate.
Okay, that's what the debate team said?
The debate people. They never confirmed. And so the story was ran that he dropped out. His campaign finally responded and said he wasn't doing the debate. But they never confirmed in the first place.
That and all of that may be 100% true, but it does send a message, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm Bob Ferguson. I don't need to.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the message it sends to me.
And so I went on his Facebook page, his campaign Facebook page, and I said, Bob, if we don't hear from you, can't vote for you.
100%. I mean, it boggles my mind. We're seeing all of these people who are standing up on mountaintops and shouting, "Hallelujah, Kamala Harris is our gal. I'm with her." Okay, great. Tell me one position she takes.
69.
Crickets.
Hold on. Back
Crickets.
after this, Outlaw Radio.
Dude, really?
Back after this.
Greed, deception, abuse of power, that's no plan. I'm the enemy. Because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy who likes to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with the side order of gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in a non-smoking section. I want to run through the streets naked with green jello all over my body reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to, okay, pal? I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas, drinking a banana broccoli shake, singing, I'm an Oscar Mayer win.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
All right, Outlaw Radio, hour number 2 underway, 5 minutes after 9 on the 25th of August, 2024. K-Dog, St. Paul, Black Tom, Lori, the CEO, Bob Ross running the boards. DJD is not here, but he's here in spirit. He's probably at home, high as a kite, but his Chargers did play, and it was a preseason, so it doesn't matter. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Hey. How are you doing, Kevin?
Thanks for bringing the energy to the show, Paul. I appreciate that.
Are you okay?
Thanks for bringing the energy to the show,
Are
Paul.
you okay?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Okay. Oh, fabulous.
I'm fabulous.
Fabuloso.
Okay. Right.
I'm amazing.
I mean, listen, dude, apparently we've finally figured out what a woman is. She's running for president. And look, I'm just saying, half this country did not know what a woman was 2 months ago.
We knew it.
Today, they all seem to suddenly know that one is running for president.
We all knew what a woman was.
Who's we?
Do not let the 3% of people in this country that want to combobulate things lead you astray. 97%.
This ain't
of
my
Americans,
church, brother. I'm not being led astray.
97% of Americans know exactly what a man and a woman is, and they don't buy into the hogwash.
50% of Americans think that a man can use a woman's bathroom.
Well, they can actually. Just in case you're wondering,
they are physically able to. Phil's right.
I did it this week.
can.
I did it this weekend. I mean, it's a single
What
use.
are you doing?
Single use. You just go in discreetly, do your business, and leave no sign.
Listen, by the way, as a man, I love you using the women's bathroom because there's nothing like blowing that place up and then leaving it for some poor woman to walk into afterwards.
Oh no! I want
to be
leave
like,
no
holy
evidence.
hell, what died in here? And by the way, women, hold on. Women have way nicer bathrooms than men do.
Oh yeah, they do.
When I worked at the Kitsap Sun, true story, I worked at the Kitsap Sun, and we had to share a restroom for a few days because they had a big plumbing issue in the men's room. So we had to share the women's bathroom. Look, the women had full-length mirrors. They had a couch in there.
Wait, what?
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Women have the swanky things. Men are like, go pee in a closet. Women are like, well, we got to give you a chair, somewhere to put your little feet up, have a little sitting area. Women are spoiled.
You're talking about the accommodations. I thought you were talking about the overall cleanliness because I have cleaned public restrooms, both male and female, and the women always make a bigger mess.
Oh,
yes, they do.
Disgusting.
Yep.
It just,
You women need to learn some hygiene.
In certain private businesses, generally, things seem to be better maintained. In public restrooms, totally different. Because I also do the cleaning of the restrooms, and oh boy, howdy.
You women need to learn some hygiene.
I've delegated that responsibility.
Okay, Paul. What's on your mind, buddy? How are you?
You know, I'm doing good.
If you had to predict who wins the election today, Who do you predict is going to win the
I
election?
couldn't. I think it's way too close to call. It's within the margin of error right now.
You wouldn't be able to pick
No,
one?
it's with literally numbers-wise or within the margin of error. Now, I have been following some folks on Wall Street who are drawing the comparison to 2020 when their numbers showed Biden up by about 4% more than he ultimately won by.
Okay.
So as a result of that, they are actually kind of raising some alarm bells within the Democratic Party saying, don't rest on the idea that we're maybe up by 1% because our numbers were off by 4% 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're and again, I keep going back to this idea that before, so the last numbers I saw were on Thursday. JFK suspended everything through his weight behind Trump. What kind of a difference that will make, we obviously can't say, irrespective of your feelings, and whether it makes a difference or not, we just don't know. And again, they were within the margin of error. I don't think anybody can legitimately say and be taken seriously what, this person's going to win or that person's going to win. And anybody who says so is lying to you. The numbers are way too close to call. You still have, what is it? How many days? 71 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's still been no debate. Harris still has yet to really say much about her policies or things she wants to implement. One of the things she's already come out with that's being torn to pieces is this idea of her tax,
economic plan.
Her tax plan that she wants to come out with on
unrealized taxes.
Yes, thank you.
Unrealized capital gains.
Unrealized capital gains taxes. Yeah, and people are going, "Oh, it's a great idea. That's a great." But these people have no idea that you're going to end up paying taxes on profits you haven't, nor may you not ever see. And to me, it is so asinine to be paying taxes on something that you haven't made a profit off of, with this idea that, well, you might.
Yeah,
like, how American is that?
And how are you supposed to pay the taxes if you don't have the liquidity because everything's tied up in investments?
100%, man.
It's a silly
in fact,
idea.
I even posted about it, asking you, Kevin, because I know that you're knowledgeable about that stuff, asking you if you wanted to, throw your 2 cents worth in there. Lori?
Oh, Phil.
Oh, Phil.
Oh, yeah. That whole thing's just, people give a perfect example. You invest in Zoom in the end of 2019. A year later, Zoom is very profitable, and they tax you on that. But then the next year, things leveled back out, and now you're losing money. Like, you don't get a refund.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. So there's one thing you've got to keep in mind with this program, with this plan, is that if you're taxed in 1 year for the gain and then you lose, you get to claim your losses the next year. So there is some theory of balance. And now, again, I agree with Phil's original point, right? How do you pay it if you don't really have it, if you don't have any liquidity? And what this is going to do is this is going to keep people from wanting to invest in the stock market.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have less people wanting to buy stocks, if you know anything about supply and demand, it's going to drive down the stock market, which is going to F over people's 401ks and their retirement plans and their investment accounts. So, and by the way, the people that are going to get hosed on their 401ks and retirement plans are not just really rich people. It's going to be working class people that have a 401k through their employer that run through
or
the NASDAQ and the stocks.
Let's not forget, we now live in a society where John Smith, who works for the electric company,
he sounds Mormon,
has an extra, $10,000, so he can just download Robinhood and invest stuff himself as well.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, this isn't just stocks. This is also mortgages. This is your house. So if you have an unrealized gain, they're expecting you to
Was it
claim.
Including real estate? I thought it was
Yes.
just within...
No.
Stuff's out of my pay grade, man. I don't want to pretend that I know.
So if your home has an unrealized gain, I don't know what the percentage is, but significant, then you might be required to pay taxes on it that year.
And you're going to put people out of their homes if you do that. I
exactly.
mean, because
Welcome communism.
When I bought my house, it was what it is. Now it is $200,000 more than what it was when I got it. If you're going to tax me on that and I haven't even sold it, you're going to now. People, especially poor people that are buying their first home, as these property values increase and go through the roof, you're going to run them out of their house because they won't be able to pay for it. The Democrat Party wants to create a whole bunch of people that are submissive bitches to the ruling class, that don't own anything, that can't own anything, that can't invest in anything, that can't do anything. Their sole job is worker bee, pay their taxes, and pay rent, lease, whatever, to the working class who's getting rich off of them, Phil.
I'm just trying to figure out who are these poor people that just bought their first house. Like, that doesn't exist.
Well, hold on.
Poor and buy a house, these do not go together.
They do. Not in Washington, but they do. I mean, the Midwest, by the way, has seen a regression in overall value of property.
Well, in California right now is dropping $30,000 for an illegal immigrant to buy a home.
Yeah.
And Kamala Harris is offering $25,000 if you vote for her. She'll give you $25,000, which $25,000 ain't barely enough to buy a freaking single-wide older manufactured home on a lot.
That can't even be legal.
Well, but the Democrats make up the rules as they go.
She's offering it.
I've heard of what do they call that? Civil asset forfeiture for sure. So it happens.
Yeah. Well, and listen, but that's the problem, right? The problem is that Kamala Harris has shaped a message to the idiots, to the people who don't really understand how things work, to people who don't understand an economy, to people that don't understand the ramifications of things.
It's 2004-05 all over again.
So what she's doing,
people buying subprime arm loans.
Oh, and you wait till this bubble bursts.
Right.
And honestly, it'll be really crappy for me to say this, but I'll benefit if it happens because I've got to I got to refinance the loan. But it's going to screw a lot of people. It's going to hose a bunch of people. We've talked about this on the show before, Paul. You're the one that brought it up first. Our kids are not in a position where they're ever going to be able to have their own home at the rate things are going.
Yeah, and I have a 23-year-old son that's coming home from his time in the Army. He'll be in 6 years by the time he comes home next summer, and he's like, "How the hell am I going to buy a house? I won't be able to get a job that pays me enough to be able to afford." Thank God he's got VA, but guess what? All that means is he's going to put zero down. He's going to have high payments.
So it just means a bigger payment. Yeah.
Yes.
Does he have room to build on the Madden Insula? Kind of expand.
The Madden. I only have 2.5 acres, but
you can do something with 2.5 acres.
I will tell you what. I did tell him that we just recently put in a electrical and I'm putting in a drainage system, like a small septic, so that if somebody wants to put a fifth wheel out there or a little travel trailer or something, it's there. So there's power and septic and water there, so that if he wants to come live out there, I'll have a space. I'll have
they
space
could do
for
a
him.
tiny home, couldn't they? You'd let them do a tiny home out there, wouldn't you?
You could, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Unless the Pierce County regulations kill you.
Yeah. Well, that's always a concern. But luckily for me, my home is surrounded by trees and it's back at the end of a dead end road.
Yeah, I mean, I looked in the tiny home and I was like, going past $50,000 in fees. I was
And
like,
by the way,
and that was before breaking dirt.
And by the way, if you're with Pierce County and you want to find out what Paul's doing illegally, he lives in Duval. Okay, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's
here
what I was going to mention Duval. Snohomish County or King County.
Here's what the Harris campaign is doing, though, Paul, and it's genius, right? And I don't mean this in a good way, but like in evil Hitler genius style, right? Like, okay, I got to get people to vote for me, so what do? All right, well, we're going to bring up this abortion thing because we know that a lot of people are fired up about abortion, and Trump's going to try to stop you from having an abortion federally, even though his Supreme Court has made that impossible, but whatever, okay? Then she comes out with, well, reparations sound like a great idea, so she's going to track some of that disenfranchised group.
Has she brought up reparations?
She's talked about reparations.
I haven't heard.
Not in this campaign cycle, but she has in the past, okay?
All right.
Then she comes out with this thing about the unrealized assets, right?
Right.
Which, again, caters to the poor who don't own any assets. Oh, now these rich bastards are going to actually start paying their own fair share. And then she comes out with all this other stuff, right? She's basically looking at what these disadvantaged groups want. She knows she needs their votes. So let me just craft little things to get all these individual groups on board, and then they'll vote for me.
Well, and
don't forget student loans, and don't forget gun rights, and all that stuff.
I will say this, and I know that you've heard this argument probably plenty over the years, especially having worked for the IRS. I just saw somebody post this argument that I don't have a problem paying my taxes. I just want the rich to pay their fair share. Listen, they do. They absolutely do. The rich, whatever category you want to say is rich, right? They pay their fair share of taxes too. Now, here's the difference between them and you, right? they have more disposable income, which allows them to do things like hire accountants, which allows them to do things like find all of the little loopholes and all the little. There is no dumbass out there right now who pays every single penny that they have to. Everybody takes every single deductible that they can.
Yep.
Now, some of you, most of you, file a 1040 easy. I don't even know if they still have that anymore.
Yeah,
right?
they do.
Okay, so
That's what I filed
plenty of you file that 1040 easy, which you don't really get to do a lot with. Am I right, Kev? Is that a fair way to put that?
Yeah, if you're going to do anything besides standard deductions, you're going to a different form.
Now, those quote-unquote rich motherfuckers, right? Like, they pay a lot of people a lot of money to figure out what to do with their money so that they don't have to pay as much. And you know what one of the biggest things is that they do with their money? They donate it. They give it away to nonprofits because that counts against their taxable income. Is that an appropriate way to say that?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. Can you take a second and explain that to people? How if I'm rich, if I'm worth millions, and I want to say I want to give $1 million to the YMCA, right?
Well,
how does that benefit
there's
me?
limits, right?
Yes. Of course, there's limits.
There's limits.
But I want people to understand that this is a very real thing that rich people do, so that they lower their tax burden.
Right, but again, there's a limit on how much they can give that's still tax deductible. So let's say they give $25,000 to the Boy Scouts. Well, that comes off their taxable income. Okay, but they can't donate it ad nauseum.
No, correct. But there are things they do, like they'll put money into trust funds, into charitable funds. They'll put money into
non-taxable investment accounts.
Right. These are all stabilizing forces in our economy.
And by the way, they are also doing things smartly because it's allowed by the tax code. They're taking all their depreciation. They're taking everything that they can. You mentioned it. They take every single depreciation, every loophole, everything that they can get. And the problem is the average Joe Schmo Schmuck can't afford to hire someone to find all that stuff. So they're missing out on all of it. If you really want equality within the tax system, you simplify the freaking tax system.
I think we all agree on that too. If they were somehow able to come up with a rational, reasonable way of, Tom, don't get hard, a flat tax,
2%. Everyone pays 2%.
I would not blink an eye at that, but I don't think that would be enough money, brother.
Herman Cain wanted 9.
It's a number I pulled from my rear end. But,
let me ask you guys a question.
To be honest,
sounds like Friday night at Tom's house.
Yeah. 2% of every,
what's Dennis doing?
Of every tax-paying entity.
Yeah.
Person, business, whatever. 2%, we'd be fine.
We would not be fine.
We would be
not
totally
with
fine.
hold on. We would not be fine with given the current level of government spending. So if you were going to go to 2%, you would have to also ask Congress to reevaluate all of their government spending, and that's where you're going to run into an issue.
If we were going to go to 2%, it's under the assumption that I'm in charge, and there's going to be a much smaller government.
And there'd be a distillery in the White House, Lori.
That would also mean that whether we went to a flat rate of 2%, 9%, 10%, we can't be giving out the earned income tax credit.
Right,
that
100%.
cannot
Lori.
happen.
Yeah,
no.
Because that's where we're bleeding the money.
But wouldn't
we
we have to have a conversation about that? Because that is something that benefits a small percentage of extreme low income people, right? And that becomes then a disposable income for them that they're putting back into the economy. Now, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but isn't that the discussion we would have to have?
Well, we'd have to have that discussion, but first of all, we'd have to get that particular group, usually younger parents, educated on how to fill out your W-4. Because when 2020
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. That's a really fascinating point you just made. How to fill your stuff out correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since the 2020 W-4 was released, I would say that in my experience, what I've seen both personally and professionally, probably about 15% of people are getting hosed because they think they're still filling out the old form.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was going to say two things. Earned income tax credit, you can't cut that. How will they buy the votes? I mean, it's so important. Second, without that
it's a fair point.
Without that income tax credit, you will cut into Walmart's profits. I'm telling you. They got to have that money to buy their new TVs. This is important.
Yeah, and I think people are going to say, "Oh, that's very funny, Phil." No,
it's
I think
meant
it's
to be slightly,
but behind every joke, there's a hint of truth, right?
Yep.
How many people? I will say this, man. When I was young, when I was in my late 20s, had my first kid, got married. Every year at tax time for about 4 or 5 years, I looked forward to that.
I did too.
We filed our taxes as soon as we could because we knew we'd be getting a fat $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 check back. And you know what we did with that money? We went and we'd get vehicles repaired, buy a new vehicle or used vehicle or whatever what we need. If I needed to get a TV or a computer or whatever, high ticket items. That's what that money went for. We would wait to have our Christmas. Like the kids would have their Christmas, but the wife and I would wait. We wouldn't even. We would say we'll use the tax return for our credit. I don't know. I think he thinks he's being quiet on the microphone.
It's not picking it up, is it? Well,
yeah.
I tried. Shut up. Keep going.
Anyway, but I listen, and I'm not. It doesn't bother me to say that because it was. I mean, like everybody else, we're all doing the best that we can on any given day, right? And it's why when I think about the earned income tax credit, I think both sides have a very legitimate position on it. Like to say, if we want a flat tax, we need to eliminate that. I'm there with you on that. I agree.
Yeah, it's not a forever thing, though. I mean, I remember when Isaac turned 18.
Well, yeah, when they turn 18, they're
it.
responsible for themselves.
Right.
And
you
unless they're in college.
Yeah, but even then, the amount you get to claim is significantly
Yes, it
less.
does. It goes significantly down. I mean, listen, when I got divorced, right, my wife, part of that divorce decree and the parenting plan was who gets to claim the child in what year. It was a big thing because he's worth $3,000. The youngest, the oldest isn't worth anything anymore. But sorry, Hunter, love you.
No, he's worth more. It's just not to you.
You know, you should. God bless you, Katie. Like she went and got life insurance on our kids,
Sure.
Even my kids from the first marriage, just to make sure. Like, and I thought she was a moron for getting all these different insurances, right? And then things slowly over the years started happening where I was like, thank God, you know. Holy cow. No kids died. Don't get me wrong.
Let me give you this number really quick.
Yeah.
In 2023, $57 billion was paid out in the earned income tax credit. 57.
And how much? Okay, that's a
billion
great point.
with
How
a
much did the
B.
IRS take in overall?
And do you have stats of how many taxpayers?
Oh, how many people that?
So the average amount was 12. The average EIC was about $2,500
right,
per
but
taxpayer.
how many people?
I don't know. I could do the math.
I'm just
57
curious.
billion divided by.
You want me to ask AI?
But again,
Did it only go back a couple of years though?
But again, just keep in mind, $57 billion.
But we have to put that in perspective.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Our federal deficit is way more than that. So
Yeah.
this
30
is,
trillion is all.
This is something, but it's not really all of something. It represents
It's a very small slice of that pie.
but it represents the overall attitude, right? We'll
Right.
just keep throwing money out, and we'll just keep throwing money out.
It's hard for me to get past this side. And again, I was a hawk on the deficit for years. We had listeners that were just, but what about spending on this and spending on that? And the more you get into things like quantitative easing and you get into all of these issues, the more that you start looking at how the banks are doing things and how the Federal Reserve does things, you begin to realize, holy cow, it's not as big of an issue as I thought it was.
And the IRS collected $4.7 trillion in 2023.
And $57 billion is a very, very small. That's like 0.01%.
Hold on, we'll continue this in a second, because I'm gonna poop on your premise.
What premise? I'm not
Hold
making
on.
a premise.
Outlaw Radio are back after this, brought to you by
premises.
Black Ring Spirits. If she's not cute enough, drink more Black Ring Spirits. She will be. Back after this.
Wow.
Outlaw Radio.
Tom!
Come on, you've heard of beer goggles,
Oh, beer goggles is the thing.
I
dude.
still own 3 pairs.
right? Okay. Well, I mean, whiskey goggles. I mean,
His
beer
wife has to
goggles
wear
just
them,
want to
though.
grow up to be whiskey goggles.
Ugh, I don't care about the goggles.
Tom,
I
is that
just
true?
fear
Paul-
whiskey dick. That's the
Paul,
problem.
is that true? You have 3 beer. You have 3 beer goggles.
I have
but your
3
wife
leftover pairs.
But
yeah.
your wife has to wear them.
Oh.
Turn the camera off. It's gonna get bloody.
Oh. Damn.
I
Somebody
love
in the
you.
chat.
I love you,
Yeah.
so I don't normally say this to you, but fuck you.
Three
Somebody-
snaps, a twist, and
Somebody
a
in the
kiss.
chat brought up giving like your loose change donations to like grocery stores and fast food. Would you like to round up
Can
the
I-
donation?
Oh.
Don't ever fucking do that.
I
ever.
don't do it, man. It
Ever.
pisses me off. And I buy all of my work clothes because I ruin them all fast. I buy them all at Goodwill. I go to Goodwill and I always buy work clothes there, right? Because it's like I'm not gonna go spend like freaking $75 on a pair of work jeans when I can go to Goodwill and get a pair of Wranglers for $15, right? So and then you go there and you
Obviously,
buy them.
Look at your wardrobe.
You buy them there, right? And they're like, "Would you like to give an extra $1.75 to help out on our work credit program?" What work credit program? You're putting people to work in Goodwill. Like what? What you're really saying is, would you please just add to our founders' bonuses at the end of the year? Like that's what I'm hearing.
Well, that's true, but it gets even better than that. Like if you go to McDonald's or Taco Bell and they're like, "Would you like to round up?" Okay, I'm going to round up my 37 cents. Okay, perfect. But guess what happens at the back end of that? Taco Bell then donates all that money, and they get the tax credit for it. So they're collecting your donation,
That's messed
and then
up.
they get your tax credit for your. Hold on, Outlaw Radio.
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio. Good luck.
All right, so we're talking about earned income tax credit, which, by the way, is one of my favorite things to rail about.
Well, listen, and let's be honest, though. Let's be intellectually honest. Because I enjoyed collecting it every year.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started doing radio way back in the day, when we were hanging out with Abe Lincoln. There,
that log cabin.
You did not have any problem going, want to see how big my EIC check was this year? You'd be like, boom.
Well, hold on. There's a difference between
Why are you not saying it's a bad thing? I
qualifying
did it
for it and working within the laws of what they are, and knowing that it's a stupid. Like I will speed through Gorst, but I know that I shouldn't because I'm going to get a ticket one of these days. By the way, I'm driving an orange Mustang, cops. But listen, like you know what you should do and you know what you shouldn't do, and you can't not claim it because the IRS will fix it for you. If you qualify for the EIC and you don't claim it because you have some moral obligation to it, the IRS will fix it and send you your money because they have to. So yeah, I got the check, and the check came in handy, and I bought tons of video games with the check, and Xboxes, and whatever else I bought with it, and TVs, and whatever.
Kevin's the only guy I knew that he'd meet a girl in January or February. He would date her, and on occasion pop out a kid before the new year.
That's not true.
And then he would break up with her before tax time, so that he. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
I hate you, and I hope you die in fire.
He does drive a Mustang.
I mean
Mustang.
A Mustang, I like that.
To be fair, I mean, that's what I do is taxes.
Yeah.
I did have my twins 2 weeks early so that we could meet the tax.
Did you really
Yeah.
So you did it on purpose?
Well, there were other things.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
I
look.
was losing weight.
Her body,
and
her
I had
choice.
twins.
Okay.
Her body, her choice. It's funny because I had thought when my youngest was born, he was born on his birthday's January 15th, and the joke with my wife at the time was, you know, what got us into this can get us out. Can we just work on this? Maybe he'll be born before the new year, you know? And my thought was, yeah, we could claim him this year and get that extra money, you know? Like, it seriously crossed my mind. That's how important when you're young, you know, those earned income credits were to you, you know?
Here's my issue with the EIC. And
You've
I've said
bitched
that-
about it for years, by the way. I want to
hate
back
it.
you up on
I
it.
hate it. I hate it. Here's why.
You hate it,
Yeah.
but you profited from it.
Yeah, I did profit from it. Yeah.
We got to be honest.
But I hate it. And part of the reason I hate it is because as I've gotten older, I've understood how the economy works and how things really work, right?
You're going, I knew I was
So
paying for that one day.
So here's the problem. What we're doing is we're taking poor people and putting them in a basket, and we're saying you don't owe any taxes. I'm totally down with that.
You po, you sit.
If you don't have enough
Sit,
income,
Ubu, sit.
if you don't have enough income, then you shouldn't pay any taxes. I'm totally cool with that.
Progressive tax rate, right?
Progressive, yeah. And wherever you want to draw the line, then draw the line there. If it's 25,000 or 18,000 or 36, whatever that number is, okay? So this is not about making the poor people pay tax. That's not what I'm advocating for. But we're taking poor people and then we're giving them an infusion of several $1,000s. And I've seen some refunds up of $10,000, $11,000, $12,000.
You had one that big one year.
Yes, it was. $10,000, $11,000, $12,000.
Told you, breaks up with her before tax time.
And then we give them that check. We haven't bettered their life. We've given them 1 month of a windfall. And that $12,000 is gone.
So to your point, Kamala Harris just said last week in her the if you want to call it a financial plan that she released, she says we're going to double the earned income credit for children in their first year. Well, and her reasoning. No, let me finish.
It wasn't the earned income credit. I have to stop.
Well, it's whatever.
It was a child tax credit, which is different. But go ahead.
Okay, so her reasoning was by going from $3,000 to $6,000. Her reasoning, and I'm paraphrasing here, we're going to statistics show 50% of the children that get this benefit will be no longer in poverty. That's her reasoning.
Yeah.
Because $3,000 tax credit when you're 1 will definitely change your poverty level throughout life.
Giving $6,000 instead of $3,000 to mommy and daddy is not going to outlift you out of poverty.
I couldn't believe she said it with a straight face.
Yeah.
Like, how's any adult that has the smallest understanding of how this works going to believe that?
But what I want you to do is, and Tom, I know you have a comment. I'm
trying to figure out the logic behind that.
I want you to listen to how she says it, though. We're going to double the tax credit for working families that have children.
In their first year.
She's not saying $3,000 more dollars. She's saying we're going to double the tax credit. So that the average voter here is double the tax credit, and they think it's going to be a massive number. Are you going to double my earned income credit? Oh my God.
I better pop out some more babies.
Well, but again, it'll all make sense when they go to file. But they're not outlining this at every campaign event that they do. She's just saying, I'm going to double the tax credit for babies in their first year of life to help you guys get forward and get out of poverty. And the average person who doesn't read up on this stuff, here's double the tax credit. The first thing they think of, like you when you messed up a minute ago, EIC.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to double the EIC.
But tell people what the difference is.
So the earned income tax credit is just based completely off of income and number of dependents, okay? So if you earn below a certain number, I don't know what the number is. I don't work for the agency, so I don't watch it. And I'm above it, so I don't care. But if you earn that number or less, you get money. How much money you get depends where you fall in the income. It's low when you earn low, and it goes up and it peaks about 70% of the way through, and then it sharply declines after that. So I'm going to make up some numbers. I don't know if these are right. Let's say the cut is $45,000. So at about $25,000, you're getting the peak amount that you can get. And then after that, it slowly declines. So if you get $30,000, if you earn $30,000, you get a little bit less of an income tax credit that you would get that if you had 25. But if you have 25, you get a little bit more than you would have at 18 because they want to get you into that sweet spot where you're not quite so poor, but you're just still poor. Okay? The child tax credit is another tax credit that is given on top of that.
Here, you read that, you'll understand it. It's out of my pay
Because you have a child who is under 17. So if you're 17, you don't qualify. Right. You have to be 16 and under to qualify for the additional child tax credit. The additional child tax credit is not based on income. It is based on the fact that you have a child.
And it's crazy, by the way, that the older the kids get, the more expensive they are, and they get less money back from the government.
And that's the child tax credit. Then there is an additional child tax credit, which is based on income. You can't earn over a certain amount, and you get another amount of money for that.
That was like $500.
So no, it's at thousands. 2,000, I think, is what it was. I think it was doubled for a little while during COVID when they were throwing money out like Pez candy.
Is that like per kid?
Per kid. Yeah.
What does that incentivize? Oof.
Well, listen, I don't have as much of an issue with a child tax credit and an additional child tax credit because...
Well, let's not get too far off.
Because those are linear to me as ways to help families, especially the additional child tax credit. I don't have an issue with that because it's a fixed amount, and while I still wouldn't give it, I'm not as opposed to it because it's like $2,000. Okay, we're not giving out $12,000. We're giving out $2,000. And I think you can rationalize that works out to be about less than $100 a month of a tax credit to working families, like with kids. I'm not really opposed to that. I'm sorry, less than $200 a month for families with children. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay, but back to the earned income credit versus.
Yeah. So again, the earned income credit is much more massive. It's a much bigger payout, and it is a refundable tax credit. Although both the child and the additional child tax credits are refundable as well. What refundable means is, so you have a non-refundable and a refundable. A non-refundable tax credit is something that will help get you to zero. But if you owe $1,000 in taxes and you have a $5,000 non-refundable tax credit, it doesn't mean you get $4,000. It just means it got you to zero. You don't owe anything. You're zeroed out. A refundable tax credit means anything above and beyond, you get back. So we're already zeroing out what they owe in taxes because they didn't make any money. Then we're adding the EITC on top of that. Now, for the tax year 2024, if you're a head of household with 3 kids, holy cow. If you're a head of household with 3 kids, if your income is less than $60,000, you qualify. Okay? If your income is less than $60,000, you qualify. Now, let's say you earn $30,000. We zero out your taxes. Then you apply your earned income tax credit. It's $9,000. You're getting $9,000 from the federal government for what? Because you had kids. You didn't do anything besides had kids. And if you're that broke, having kids was probably not the best financial decision to have made. I'm not advocating for abortion or giving up your kids, nothing. But I'm just saying, these are people that, including me, at that time in my life, was not making the best decisions. Because if you're only making $30,000, $35,000 a year, you probably can't afford to provide the life that you want to provide for your kids. Now, sometimes pregnancies happen, and I'm not advocating for abortions. You have your kids, you do the best thing that you can with them. So I'm not knocking people.
What's the best thing to do with them?
There were a few people who got knocked.
Yeah. So, like, what is the best thing to do with them? Is like kennels and collars, or
well, if you're part of the Trump administration, you've got those kids across the border.
Yeah.
But look, I don't have an issue not taxing the poor. What I have an issue with is giving them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because they're poor and because they have kids. Like $57 billion with a B, billion dollars in 2024 went out in earned income tax credit payments for no damn good reason, other than the fact, oh, you're poor and you have kids, here's some money. If you really want to make a difference, then you don't collect the taxes at all. That money doesn't need to go to the IRS so it can filter down through 15 different layers of bureaucracy, pay out 8 different layers of middle management, fund unnecessary parts of an agency. Just stop charging them tax.
Kevin, your gold is showing.
Give them a federal tax exempt card because they're poor that they renew every year. And then they don't pay taxes and we don't have to give it back to them, Phil.
Wouldn't the W-4 fix that? And 2, what if instead of the income tax, the money they're going to get for their status, they get paid monthly, kind of like people get their Social Security, that kind of. So that way, it's not big lumps. It's like, here's money you can budget with to maybe plan to do better.
Maybe, but why do that? Because the federal government will create a new agency to oversee that, a new department to oversee that, which will lead to more bureaucracy and cost more money. I mean, we paid out $57 billion. How many billions of dollars does it cost for us to run that program in the first place? 5? Well, where could that $5 billion have been better spent?
So
give
to
them
the point, though, would a W-4
no
allow you to pay no tax?
Well, the W-4 would allow you to pay no tax, but it would not address the fact that they still want to pay out the earned income tax credit.
And Kevin says, vote Chase Oliver for president.
That's not what I said.
You sure sound like it, dude.
So here's what you do. You have everybody file a tax return. And if you fall under that number, you give them a card. And you know what the card says? Why are you taking my phone? Oh, is that your phone? Oh, mine's over here. And you know what the card says? You are tax exempt through this date. And then they don't pay taxes at the grocery store, at the car dealership, anything. They don't pay taxes. Or they don't pay federal taxes, whatever. Give them a card. Instead of taking the money and then sending it back to them. Outlaw Radio. Outlaw Radio. Paul just showed me a 12-gauge shotgun pistol. So does that
Which
have
is
to be
effectively
registered?
a really, really short, sawed-off shotgun.
Does that have to be registered? It's not considered a handgun, or is it considered a handgun?
There's probably some special regulations around it, and I would consult with your lawyer or your local police representatives before that. Because to me, a 12-gauge shotgun pistol sounds a lot like sawed-off shotgun. And I'm thinking like Randy Weaver. That's all I'm saying.
Boss Baby's in the chat, by the way. Boss Baby is
it available like a 5
Do you want to come on
round,
the air,
like
Boss Baby?
like a judge?
No, it's like 2 shots. Yeah, butterfly open, put the new 2 ones in. But I'm telling you what, man, what a great piece of equipment to slap to keep slapped on your hip.
Oh yeah.
In the event of an emergency or zombie apocalypse.
I shot one of those.
Yep.
That
you feel it in your forearm.
You feel it the next day.
Yeah.
Is that like firing a Casole?
Boss Baby
I've
is
shot
on
one of
video
those
chat, by
before
the way.
too.
Hi, Boss Baby.
I was excited because I
friends.
knocked down 5 targets with 3 shots.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You sent her the link. Right on.
What up, Boss Baby?
What do you mean he sent me the link? I made this link, buddy.
She makes the links. We get them from her, not the other way around.
Okay.
I like that Seahawk jersey, though, there, Boss Baby.
Well, thanks. Well,
How's my
thanks.
dog?
Your dog is wonderful. Come here. There you go.
Let me see my dog. There's my puppy.
There's your dog.
Hi, Puppy.
Hi, Buckeye.
Hi, Puppy. J. Andrew
Yes.
Kennedy says, Andy, we love you.
Aw, thanks, friends.
Yeah.
It's been I have my Sunday Harbor View bracelet on.
We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
Are you guys going to do a
Yes.
crowdsource GoFundMe?
Likely I'm working on a logo for a t-shirt to sell right now.
Okay.
So,
All right, we'll tell the
you
whole
know how
story
I
when we
do.
come back. Are we back on AM yet?
Yeah.
I'm confused with where we're at. We're on AM. We're not
Oh.
in break.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thanks, Phil. I knew I wasn't wrong, but
I'm sorry. I
wasn't gonna
got
out you like that.
distracted.
See, here's the difference between Paul and I.
I was mistaken.
When I sense you've made a
Careful.
mistake,
Choose your words carefully.
When I sense you've made a mistake, I don't want to embarrass you publicly with it. I'll just leave it alone. When Paul thinks I've made a mistake, he will go out of his way to make me look like
That's
a
why
clown.
people tune in.
Yeah. All right.
Like, did you just figure that out?
So, Boss
or
Baby
you
joining us from Boss Baby's crib.
I got distracted by the boss baby.
What's going on, Boss Baby? It's good
not
to see
too
ya.
much. Yeah.
So
you
I'm going to
too.
let you tell the story of what happened.
Okay.
And if you've been following Outlaw for a while, we have multiple folks in this that we know and care about, and so I'm going to let you kind of fill people in, and then we'll talk about how we can help.
Sure. Let's see. So I believe Thursday we got one of those calls that nobody expects to get. One of those, there's been an accident at work. So Nicole, who you guys have met a few times.
With the Relay for Life out of Pearson, yeah, okay.
Exactly. J. Andrew Kennedy, you don't piss me off. Unless you talk about that M state, which good for you. Oh, speaking of, hold on. Sidebar. I heard that Michigan maybe doesn't want to play this year because they're saying we can't play. We all have monkeypox. So I'm curious. You guys got to get on that.
Just remember that Michigan sounds a lot like Bitchigan, but go ahead.
It does. It does. It does.
Lord.
It does. So anyway, Nicole got that call on Thursday, and being that she's my sister, I was about the second person to get that call. Where her husband, who is a inspector for the he works for a company, but they do the contract work for the DOT to inspect propane tankers and propane tanks around. So out in Hood Canal area, they were at the Alderbrook property, and one of the propane tanks they were going to inspect. They had just taken the manhole cover off, and the static electricity in the air caused it to explode.
Ooh.
So my brother-in-law essentially took the brunt of that explosion. Thankfully, they had all the safety precautions that they could. But yeah, he's at the Harborview Burn ICU unit probably for the next couple of months, maybe. I think currently we're at 40% burned, but we have learned so much. I mean, my sister and I are very much into the cancer world, and we've been a part of Broken Bones world, but the burn world is something totally different. So that is the story. That is, I will say today, he opened his eyes and looked at me, and though he can't speak at the moment, my sister told him I was down touching his foot, one of the places that didn't get burned. It's easy to to touch him and show him we're there, and he started wiggling his toes at me. So he's in there. He may not be able to speak back to us, but he's in there.
Did he get the tube removed today? When you and I spoke earlier,
no,
he was intubated and...
It should be maybe tomorrow. They were testing, and he kind of passed and kind of didn't, so they're able to keep it in just to make sure he's really good to go when he's ready, so they don't have to put it back in.
So what we're going to do is, as you get a GoFundMe, as you get any kind of fundraisers or things going, we're going to share those out to the listeners and the Outlaw Faithful and put it out there, and people can help where they want to. And I'm not going to read what you and Kennedy wrote.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I see it. I'm laughing.
They're desperate. But anyway, we'll keep everybody posted. If you want to help, I'll share it all over my socials, and hopefully we can get it shared on some other socials as well, and get some motivation out to get a little bit of help.
But
the one thing
we're part of the Outlaw crew.
100%.
I was in your.
Sorry, I think I broke it out.
Okay.
I will tell you, man, burns are the worst. I think pain-wise, just burns are the worst.
Phil?
I was just going to add, I mean, maybe it's an obvious question, but this is a work-related accident, so I'm sure there's a certain cover to his work, but the family still has expenses of, to be there with them. So,
trips to the hospital, missed time from work. When you're at the hospital, you got to buy food. I mean, it does incur a whole bunch of costs. Yeah.
What we can do to help the family is probably the big thing.
Yeah. Hey, boss, maybe one other quick question, and I don't know if this has even been discussed, but it's something I'm curious about. Is this going to impact the family's involvement in the relay? I mean, obviously, he's going to need a lot of help and stuff. Is that something that's even been discussed?
Well, considering, I mean, if anybody is following my personal journey, I happen to have just recently found out about my own medical issues. So I was kind of looking to step back for a year while I figure out some things going on that I can do. And so while it has not been spoken out loud, he's going to need a lot of help. And so we may be taking a little back seat this year, but we're definitely still going to be involved, still have a team, still do that stuff. But, not probably as number 1 and 2 like we have been the last few years. So, but yeah, we're definitely still, it's definitely still our passion. I mean, both of Nicole's parents, my dad, lots of my family members have had cancer, so it's hugely important to us still. So
well, we're still on board to help in any way we can, and I would still love to MC if given the opportunity. So wherever you all need me. The other thing is you and Paul have something in common. He just learned a pretty major medical thing himself.
Ooh.
All the iron in his blood is sinking to his ass and turning to lead. So
that's the thing.
He's got his own medical stuff he's working.
Joke has sucked for 20 years.
All right. Do you want to stay on this for a little while? What do you want to do?
I can. I'm actually, I have to keep myself awake for a little longer till I get the family update so I can put it out to our big crowd of people following. But yes, I can stay on. No problem.
Do you want to leave the camera on, or do you want me to move you back to the backside and you can
either way? That's up to you guys.
I'm gonna move you off camera just in case you pick your nose or something.
Yeah.
And
I mean, clearly it was a good choice.
How do I just?
There.
Oh, okay, there she is. All right. Okay. Some nice comments in chat, by the way. Bruce says he'll share if he has the link. Terry said, "Do you have any way that we can send you gift cards?" So as we get that information, just monitor the Outlaw page, and we'll share out what we can. Terry said a number of us are going to pray for him. Kevin said prayers go out. Jander Kennedy, Andy, you can burn me any day. I'll wiggle my toes at her. All right. You Michigan people are weird, man. It's all that barnyard sodomy, man. I don't even know what to say about it. All right. Have you paid attention? We've only got
I'm
5
too
minutes.
poor to pay attention.
So I don't want to get into a big topic, but we'll do that at the top of the hour. But
yeah,
have you paid attention to CNN's coverage lately on their page?
Coverage of?
Just in general.
I don't go to CNN's website.
I don't dismiss them in the general news feed that I pick up, but I don't seek out their news specifically.
So they're basically beating 2 stories to death on their page. One is We Hate Trump, which again, it's been like that for the last 8 years. And now they're beating Israel to death on their page. They are running so many stories that are anti-Israel stories on their page in an attempt to sway public opinion against Israel in support of the Palestinians. Today alone, they got 4 stories atop of the page, what we used to call newspaper biz above the fold. One story, they told me to strip. Former Palestinian detainee says he was sexually abused by in an Israeli prison. The next one, the Middle East may have backed off from the brink of regional war for now. The next one, Israel launches, quote, preemptive strikes, quote, in Lebanon as Hezbollah fires back. Next one, CNN reporter reveals what was not normal about Israel's Hezbollah strike. The next one, Hezbollah's military, size, hardware, and how it compares to Israel. And that article goes on to say how they're just a small little military and they can't even measure up to Israel. If you don't think this is
They have
designed...
100,000 rockets ready to bombard all of Israel, but they're just a little guy.
But if you don't think this is targeted news reporting with a purpose behind it, you're not paying attention.
For sure.
We've
talked about it for years, haven't we?
Nowhere in here does it mention anything about the people that are still being held hostage since October 6th.
The for-profit media, God bless you bastards.
That's all the media. I know you guys saw the thing about when Trump released his idea about not taxing tips. And one of the headlines was, "Oh, this is going to cost the American, economy $200 million or whatever the hell the number was." And then the next time they covered it, "Oh, Kamala Harris wants to, not tax tips," and she's talking, and the headline was talking about the benefit of not taxing tips.
1,000%. This is why Trump specifically says the fake news media. I mean, is anybody out there still not believe that the for-profit media is
not reliable?
Not reliable. Thank you. Very well said.
Well, they're very reliable. We know how to rely on them. Now,
I think,
most important thing I use CNN for is my internet working correctly. Go to CNN if it loads, because I don't load that normally, so I know. Yep, it's not a cached page. It really worked. It's about the only thing it's good for.
I think that CNN is trying to drive up profit and viewership because a big thing happened at the DNC. The Palestinian contingency requested that a pediatrician who's been working in Gaza be allowed to speak because they had a Israeli family come up, I believe. And I didn't see the whole DNC the convention, but the DNC refused, and so then the Muslim women put out a email and to their faithful and said, "Do not vote for Harris and Walz because this is what they're doing to us." So I think that CNN is trying to feed into that, and you know, because TDS is not working like it used to.
Well, and I think that there's a very clear, distinct difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. When it was Donald Trump and Joe Biden, the differences were different, right? Because we have a person running for office in Kamala Harris, and for people that are looking around going, "Well, she's not saying much, she's not talking to the media," all you have to do for us, Kevin, right here with Outlaw Radio Network. By the way, Tom, we are not for-profit media, right? And like you said, everybody's no. I think it's very clear. Like small guys like us, we are not for-profit media for sure, but we have to simply tell people, what did Kamala Harris say in her previous running for president, right? What kind of things, what platforms, what was her attitude toward things? Listen, there's a reason why she was voted the most progressive liberal congresswoman, which undeniable how far to the left she was, right? And things that she's come up with and is talking about what to do. She I hate to use this word, but I think it's applicable, which is the woman's a communist. Like the things that she proposes and that she wants to do, some people will say, oh, she's socialist like Bernie Sanders. No, she's to the left of Bernie Sanders, and he's a socialist.
Really quick.
That means communism.
Really quick. Somehow Terry got blocked in the chat, and I don't know how that happened. So I didn't block her. Phil, did you? I don't think you did. Can you look in there and see if you can figure out how to unblock her? Because it says that she was blocked, but she didn't do anything worthy of being blocked. So see if we can figure it out. Hold on, Outlaw Radio. Coming back after this. Top of the hour news is next on Mega Talk.
I didn't do it.
So Andy's not in there. She left the room.
So on the StreamYard side, there's nothing we can do. That doesn't interact with any blocking that we're aware of. It's someone who has access to the Facebook page, and that's not me. Additionally, good opportunity. Send her a private link. Join us.
Well, no, I'm just trying to figure out how it happened.
Hard to say. Maybe the algorithm. You blame Mark Z.
Are you saying she got blocked magically by nobody?
That's what it says in the room. Terry was blocked. But it doesn't say where. Like, it doesn't put the Facebook or the YouTube icon next to it. So I wonder if she was blocked in StreamYard. Because she just made a comment that posted in the Facebook chat that made it there just fine. So it looks like it's in the StreamYard side of things.
I don't know.
Let me look at edit.
Well, I would say this is something we need to try to figure out, right? Because we don't want it to be happening to all kinds of listeners randomly.
All right, we'll just announce. Sorry, Terry. Hey, go over to YouTube. See if the chats come through there. Sorry, it's not as interactive with the other folks, but
that's just funky.
Just remember,
funky, cold Medina. Sorry.
As I always tell people, if it's maybe see if a hammer fixes it. If it doesn't fix it, it might be an electrical problem.
Yeah, Junior Kennedy said Facebook. I don't know, but I don't think it's a Facebook thing because she's posting the Facebook thing, but it's not coming through on the StreamYard, which is where we monitor all of our stuff from. So we'll have to. She messaged, said she's on Facebook. Okay, you guys talk for a second. Let me mess around the Facebook page, see what I can figure out.
Yeah, I'm on there too.
You are? Okay, I'll let you work on it then. Hey, go ahead.
What are we talking about? We're all over the place this evening.
Well, yeah, Paul showed up and totally ruined our vibe.
Oh, here we go.
That's not the Sunday I remember.
There's a block user button in StreamYard, but that's
Kamala Harris is a goddamn communist. How's that?
Can't ban a
prove
chat
me wrong
or moderator.
Yeah, but
I know how to carry a conversation.
Now, have you noticed that calling someone a communist in this day and age is not the same as when we were kids?
Because when we were kids, we were worried about people called communists dropping nuclear bombs on us.
Right. So what
carried a bit more weight.
Yeah. What's the insult now?
What do you mean?
Communist isn't it?
No, I don't. It's not said as an insult.
Well, I know.
That's what he's saying.
But
I'm saying she's a communist.
Right. So that's what I'm getting at. When we were kids, you called someone a communist, you were insulting them.
Yes, but now it's a descriptive word.
No, you know what the insult is now?
Terrorist.
You're a straight white male.
Oh,
that's the insult now.
Shut up, Kevin. It's you forgot cis.
Well, I say the whole thing because but that's the insult now.
Can I? I heard somebody make the point the other day too that he heard a leftist person was like, "Well, you're a cis white male." He goes, How dare you call me sis? Like if you're gonna tell me I have to call you this, or that, don't ever call me sis. That's not a word you get to use to describe me.
I don't even really have a grasp on it.
I don't either.
So this StreamYard thing, if it was blocked through StreamYard, if somebody accidentally clicked something,
Andy did it by accident. I think it's fixed.
The next stream should not be a problem. So it's a per stream basis.
And Andy did it by accident in Facebook. I just got that confirmed, and I think Andy's gonna fix it. So
well, that is so weird.
See, Andy shows up and messes things up. All right.
Is she kind of like a koala?
Yeah.
Eats, shoots, and leaves.
Yeah. All right, we're coming back on AM in just a moment. Some more topics to talk about, including a Fox News report about the least attractive hobbies for men, according to women.
I bet you
and why I
probably have half of them.
Three of the five. I'm in there. 3 of the 5. So we'll talk about that.
That's not something to brag about.
I'm not bragging. I'm reporting.
Need to qualify who the women are.
This is a Fox News.
That's true, because I think in this day and age, the ones that I saw aren't really, like, a lot of women would be just fine with those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Phil?
And debuting some Special Paul music. All I can say is, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
In 15 seconds.
Outlaw Radio Network, brought to you by Black Ring Spirits.
Special Paul music. Okay.
Special Paul music.
It's been a long time since I've beaten anybody's ass like a redheaded stepchild, so let's see how this goes.
No, it's bumps.
I'm sorry,
it's
Kevin,
bumps
to
you
make this
made.
happen to you.
It's bumps you made.
Julia, the light, the spark, yeah. The talking truth, smashing dark, yeah. K-Dog roaring on the waves, yeah. St. Paul got the light that saves, yeah. Outlaw voices breaking chains, yeah. On the air they make it rain, yeah. Black Tom leading like a king, yeah. Lord CEO with the sing, yeah.
He dropped it out at the right before. I mean, it sings about Black Tom. It sings about DJ D. It sings about DJ Bob Ross.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I put everybody in it.
And what does DJ Bob Ross do? Does he paint?
It's in
Something?
no. It
I
says
can't tell.
actually. He says something about painting. I think
You made it. What does it say?
I don't fucking know.
Hey, we're on the.
Yeah, I didn't say in.
All we know is that there's no profanity.
Yeah,
we have
no,
one
no
fruit fly in here,
profanity.
and I'm gonna kill that sumbitch.
No, that's because you keep leaving your food in here, brother.
No, that's not. It's not that I don't. There's no food left in here.
They're,
at all.
they're probably my fault.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
You brought your fruit in here?
No, fruit flies
Put your pants
follow
on.
me everywhere, dude.
Definitely put your pants on.
It has to go. No, it has to do with the fermentation.
Well, you call it whatever you want, but I'm just telling you, put your pants on.
St. Paul, the voice of Gaza, and St. Tom, the voice of fruit flies. All right.
Well, he is into what was that little character's name? Pee-wee Strawberry Tom Herman. What's the name of the little character that you're all kind of into?
Hello Kitty?
Yeah, that's it. Hello Kitty. Which is code for I like women.
But if he was into My Little Pony, we just know he's 15% cooler.
I got a question for you.
I got an answer.
Well, actually, do you have a
promise.
topic you want to bring up? I don't want to monopolize. If there's something you want to get into, I want to give you time to do that because we got things coming up at 10:30.
No. We're good. We're good.
Oh, here you go.
I promise.
What are you laughing about?
I think Tom just left a trail like a slug. If I can't read it. If Tom and Kevin wrestled, Kevin would get the bowling ball grip.
I don't understand you people. Again, I don't even understand you people.
Do you want a demonstration?
No.
No.
Because I think Lori's ready to
No.
demonstrate.
Since we're having some good laughs, remember, time flies like an arrow, and fruit flies like bananas. So. Hey, Paul
Anyway.
laughed. It worked.
Anyway,
it was funny.
All I have to say is y'all are stupid. Okay.
All right, and on that note, we'll mute him.
That is our new, clearly a new
we are
inside
stupid.
joke with Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, that'll work great on radio, Paul. That's.
Oh no,
that's
that's just
fabulous.
between us. Trust me, it's just between us. And for those that see it on other, here's Kevin.
All right.
He's gonna go home tonight going, "What The hell was that about? He's like going to go back and watch this probably 3 more times tomorrow just to try to figure. It's like, I don't understand. What are you talking about? Bowling pin grip? I don't get it.
Anyway, so according to Fox News, they released a poll.
You don't think Lori doesn't know how to do that grip? Oh boy, you got something else coming.
You know what she's doing in her free time. All right.
No, you don't. Never mind. Never mind, Kevin.
Giving herself the bowling ball grip.
No, Kevin, that's not how that works.
Does for Lori. All right. She said she's a woman. She don't need no man. That's what she said. All right.
If you're the local woman in the chat room this week who's interested in Kevin, private message me.
I swear to God. You just keep going
I
back
love
to
you.
that well, man.
I love
you just
you.
keep going right
no,
back to that
I
well.
won't. I won't. I haven't said one word about your singleness in a long time.
You just did.
No, that didn't
You
count.
just
I was
did.
expressing
So
what we were talking about.
Introducing Lori's beads.
All right. So Fox News did a poll, in which they established what are the least attractive hobbies for men according to women.
You know what the number one should have been on there?
What?
Doing other women. that should have been number one, right?
All right. Here we go.
Maybe not, Tom. Maybe
Number
in your world,
5.
women are into that.
Number 5 is gambling. Okay.
Okay.
Which I don't do. Not often anyway.
Does that include buying the lotto?
I was gonna say I don't even buy lotto tickets, man. Like I can never waste money.
My gambling is limited to fantasy football.
I'll play a couple hands of blackjack once or twice a year,
Yeah.
maybe. But
Is that gambling or is that just a little sport?
I technically, I think it's gambling.
Yeah.
I mean,
Buying the lotto, on the
Little
other hand,
sport.
is
That's
just
the nanny's kid.
lotto is for people who are bad at math.
Okay.
right.
Number 4
Number 4
is online trolling.
What?
Online
That's a
trolling.
hobby?
That's a hobby, yeah.
I think for some people this
According
day
to
and age
who?
it is.
And I think I have been known to be an online troll at times. So
See, I would never consider you an online troll.
you would not?
No, I would not. I think because Kevin does not go onto other people's pages looking to spin them sideways.
Oh,
and
I
have
just
them-
do it on my own page.
You just do it on your own
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
And you invite other people to come onto your page. And it's like you throw the hand grenade into the room and then sit in the bleachers and watch the doctors come in and try to patch everybody up.
Okay. Number
Hey, Doc,
3.
my liberal friend's bleeding out over there. You want to help him real quick? Ooh, that looks like it hurt.
Yeah. Number 3, magic tricks.
That's odd.
What's wrong with magic?
I'm just telling you what Fox News came back on. Number 3 on their list of most unattractive qualities to women.
Can I borrow
magic
your
tricks.
Your pen there. I'm gonna catch this fruit fly with.
I'm
wanna
gonna
kill
call
it.
horse crap on that particular statistic.
I'm doing my
I'm just telling
best,
you.
Mr. Miyagi.
80% of women said that magic tricks were least attractive.
I'm
or
going to call
unattractive.
horse crap on that
Is
statistic.
this when Kevin
because
gets stabbed by Paul?
All right.
If you watch, the street magic and stuff with David Blaine,
Those guys are impressive.
but it's always women on the street, and they're always enjoying the magic.
But
tricks.
those dudes are impressive.
And they're usually attractive women too.
I'm calling crap on that stuff.
How does a dude make himself levitate and walk up the side of a building,
I
and
don't
have
know.
nobody standing around and figure it out?
Oh.
Like, if I could do that, man, oh boy, I'd still be single.
Obviously, because it's one of the least attractive things to women. All right.
Apparently.
Number 2,
Number 2.
collecting figurines.
Yeah, you're screwed.
I'm hosed.
You are hosed.
G.I. Joe count?
Yeah, probably. But I have a huge Funko collection.
Kevin's the guy. We get political players coming into
I'm
the
at,
office, and Kevin's like, "Want to see my Funko collection?"
You know, Kevin,
Are you not into the office?
Speak
What are you
into the end
talking
of the
about?
mic.
I am. Kevin,
Yeah.
went to the Idaho State Fair or the Western State Fair.
Mhm.
They had a whole booth of Funko. I almost took photos and sent it to you, and then I was like, nope, I don't want to do that.
I am willing to bet,
and
Kevin.
they were cheap too.
Well, they were
How much-
probably cheap because they were ones that aren't collectors and aren't popular.
How
But
much
go
would
ahead.
it cost us to
know.
get Funkos made of each of us?
Well, at one point I thought that was happening, but
It is going to
changed.
happen. I just have to create time to go to Everett to do it.
Okay, but it can be done.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
but how much does it cost?
I want to say about $20 a piece.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
So, because it would be fascinating
I'm gonna find that
to get a
goddamn
little
fruit
group
fly,
of
I'm gonna-
Funkos to be able to take some pictures and get some little short intro videos. It
Yeah.
would be fun. We could have some fun with it.
Okay. And number 1 on the least attractive hobbies for men according to women, 90% of
Probably
women
playing video games. Huh?
playing video games. Yep.
Oh, I was right.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. I didn't mean anything by that, dude. I just was totally guessing. So
Totally video games. Yeah.
see, I think
So
that
I got
only
2 or 3 of these, depending if you think I'm an online troll or not.
I'm betting though that only applies for a certain generation because I think you're probably good 50-50 between men and women below the age of 35.
I was
those
gonna
women.
say, I mean, my oldest is 30, and she's a hardcore gamer.
Yeah,
and she's got lots of other.
Well, this
women
was
in
from
her age, her peers they're all pretty hardcore gamers.
So this was from the Gutfeld show. Gutfeld. Yeah, and so it's a conservative show. He's probably attracting an older demographic to begin with.
Exactly.
Probably. Yeah.
Older cis white
God
people.
bless it. I'm not a catch.
I don't even know what I mean, do you want to tell him, Lori? We've been saying this behind the scenes for years, brother. That's why we've been trying to get you some help.
I think it depends on the quantity of hours for video games. Like if
there you go.
Like
Great
if you're
point.
playing, an hour or 2 at night to kind of relax and then, get into your
Do you know how many hours of video
at-home
games
vibe.
I
Hold
played
on,
in the
hold
last
on.
month?
And then you're engaging with the family or the girlfriend or whatever. I think you're fine. But if that's all you're doing,
right.
like you're budgeting your sleep so you have more time to play.
Do you know how many hours of video games I played in the last month?
I have no idea.
Probably less than 10 in a month.
Yeah. So
yeah, I hardly ever play.
Yeah, you don't.
I have all of them.
It's
but
a
I hardly
collecting thing for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
It's more about the striving to collect something and add it to your collection.
And the
think
new
it's-
college football game is out, which makes me very happy to play.
Yeah, I
but-
think it's more of a social event, like having when you have your wrestling parties,
Yeah.
and then you can bring it out. And
Yeah.
people can play.
Like when I come over and beat your ass in Madden. I mean,
just
it's
bought
pretty
the
embarrassing.
I just bought the new Madden game on Friday.
Did you?
I haven't even installed it yet. I haven't even
Who's
taken
on
it
the
out of the
cover?
wrapper yet. Christian McCaffrey, running back. For the
Okay,
Niners.
dude, he earned it. That dude's a
Yeah.
stud.
Yeah, he has.
Great white hope.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
I haven't seen a white guy run like that since
Yeah.
Larry Zonka, 1972.
Anyway,
that
so
dude pounds.
And then what was the second?
not the
one
first
that you
time
had
that
the
Paul's
problem?
talked about a white guy pounding, but okay.
Whoa.
What's that, Lori?
What was the other one?
What other one? Oh, collecting figurines.
Yeah, I will say that Funko are more probably socially acceptable rather than the Star Wars figurines that are, posed a certain way and, Battlestar Galactica.
Well, just to be
stuff and all
clear,
that.
just to be clear.
Yeah.
I have a lot of Funkos though. I mean, I'm
No, I know,
probably
you've showed
I'm probably close to 225 now.
Wow.
Yeah, I was at 200 and I got more in. So,
Well.
and I got 3 waiting for me at the comic book store in the mall. I got to go pick up, and
But it's a collection.
I'll be getting another one next week.
Okay,
Because I got a buddy going to a Mariner game. Get me a Luis Castillo.
Oh, okay.
Listen, folks.
There you go.
What happens is,
and some of my Funkos are pretty expensive.
Is
They're
that
worth money?
The guy in question, his friends will come over and stuff like that, and then he'll finally, he'll meet this girl. He'll ask her out on a date. She'll come to the house, and everything's going great. And Kevin's not the kind of guy that talks about his exes or anything like that, which is super appropriate, right? Especially when you're on a date.
Super smart.
And then when she comes in and he starts showing her stuff around, she's like, "Oh, you've been single for a while." Like, that's how that goes. But what it says to her is that, well, you're not a whore. You're not out whoring yourself around. No way chicks come over here all that often. Like, it makes sense. It's kind of a cool defensive measure.
Let's be clear. All the Funkos are in the office, and not everybody goes
And they
in
are
the
set
office.
up like they are a collection.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people go in the office. So it's not like if people come to the house, they're going to see it unless I
Right,
decide to take them in
right.
there and show it to them.
Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth right now.
Mhm.
You are fantasizing about doing some chick in that office, aren't you?
No.
You're like, I want to do her around my Funkos.
Nope.
I
Too
want to
many eyes
look
watching.
around.
Too many eyes watching, man. Listen, I put a beanbag chair in there.
I
Like,
knew
when
it.
No, I got a beanbag chair in there. 'Cause
I believe you.
So I can sit in there and play video games in the beanbag chair. Yeah. But I'm not. I don't want to
Don't
get.
ask
I
what
don't
else
want to
he
get
does on the
bodily
beanbag
fluids on the
chair, but
beanbag
he's
chair,
relaxed.
man. I'm not getting bodily fluids on the beanbag
Yeah,
chair.
there you go.
You told me that's why you got a plastic
That's
one.
not. No, I did not get a plastic beanbag chair.
Is it
you
pleather?
Dimwit. It's not leather. No, it's
Kevin,
cloth.
I think you're fine. I mean, it's
Yeah, you
kind
are.
of like
Fine,
the
but yeah.
guy who has the collector car, the
Yes.
1972 Chevy Chevelle that he's fixing up, and all of that.
Car parts all over my yard like a D-Derby driver. Yeah.
In the garage, but yeah, hopefully. But I mean, it's more of a beige flag.
Phil, you doing a Hitler salute over there, or did you have something you wanted to add?
Whoa.
No, he was just waving. I was just messing with him.
So it's
He
a
got me to
beige
laugh
flag.
earlier.
It's not a red flag. It's not a green flag. It's kind of a beige flag.
Right.
Or a golden
This is a beige
retriever.
flag.
You're a golden retriever.
All right, Phil, go ahead and
50
go
Shades
ahead
of Beige here.
50 Shades of Beige.
Beige.
A
Somewhere I either read or heard, they like to say, like the guys who, like the game, the guys that get together and, they might play their D&D or GURPS games or, whatever. There's a certain, they're into that little community. They often make the best husbands. They're going to be good fathers. They're not out carousing around with, looking for some, lady to hook up with. They're like, we're just playing our D&D game. Yep. And I get it. It's cliche, but legit.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah, 100%. People would, yeah. Yep, 100%.
Right.
There's a lot. Listen, I saw Revenge of the Nerds. We all saw Revenge of the Nerds. Louis Skolnick perfectly explained it, right? Jocks only think about playing sports, and all the nerds think about is sex. End of story.
By the way, I did just put the phone number back up for the Outlaw Radio Network voicemail. If you want to call and just leave us a message, we'll play it on the air. If you're too scared, Holly, to call during the show and talk to us, you can just call the voicemail.
You said you weren't bringing her up.
And you can just leave us a message and we'll play it. So the number's on the screen, 360-519-7827, 360-519-7827. Leave us a message, we'll play it. If you swear, I have to spend time editing and it'll probably take longer to get out.
Since I was out on vacation, or your word, suspension, has anybody called in?
We had a whole hour of clips.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was all
I'll have to
talking
go
about
back.
you. It was
No,
all
it
talking
wasn't.
about you.
No, it wasn't. Oh, my God. I don't even flatter
We had people that were like,
myself
how could you even let Lori back on the show? She only got 11% of the vote.
Oh, I'll have to go listen.
I don't care what anybody says. Lori deserves to be damn proud of that. Next time she'll make an effort.
Oh.
What? I'm serious. Like she got 10 to 12%, depending upon what count, without doing anything.
Yeah. Comments in chat.
We're going to start running Outlaw Radio Network, an Outlaw Radio Network candidate in every election from here on out.
You going to run next?
I
can't
I'm getting
run.
older. I just
I
it's
can
harder
never
and
run.
harder to run.
I can never run. I'm a federal employee. The Hatch Act prohibits me
You
from
can run.
running.
You just can't run as a partisan.
I can't run for a partisan office.
Right. That's what I sort of said.
No, you said I can't be partisan. I can't run. Even if I'm not partisan, I can't run for
You
an
can only
office
run for a non-partisan.
Yeah, I could run, but there's nothing out here that I could run for.
So you could be a judge?
You could be a commissioner.
Yeah.
The commissioners declare, don't they?
Nope.
You could run for a water district guy. You could run for the port
Oh,
commissioner.
Be the Port of Waterman commissioner. That's
You can also be a county commissioner.
That's a
It's
wealth of
nonpartisan.
experience.
Be following in
there.
your friend Ben Compton's footsteps.
I could run for City of Bremerton mayor if I was in the City of Bremerton city limits.
County commissioner is nonpartisan.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
All I'm saying is it does nothing but great things for the show and the station. If there's where it says party affiliation, you just put Outlaw Radio Network. Like that's cool as hell.
Nonpartisan school board, city councils,
Listen,
etc.
we all know how things
Thank
go.
you, Rick. Oh, shut up, Paul. Thank you, Rick. Go ahead, Paul.
We all know how it works when Kevin says, "Hey, I'm going to sign you up for this. You go ahead and do it. I'll be back here cheering you on." You end up doing a Dudois photo shoot for victims of sex slavery.
I think it's time for us to share those photos again. I'll be sure to get on that. Okay. I hate you. Why are you mean?
Why would you
Actually,
be?
We need to do another one of those. And by we, I mean you men. You men need to do those.
Lori's like, by we, I mean
Oh,
you
that's
mo.
right. Trojo is listening to the show. Trojo, can you ask your ex if she still wants to do photos of us? Would you ask your ex if?
Oh, whoa.
Also, Trojo,
What? You have a mouse in
tell
your
us
pocket?
the story about
What's
the
this
kitty.
us?
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, he got his cat back.
Yeah, he got his cat back.
Yeah,
he did.
God bless him for getting his cat back. You know what they say about orange tabby cats?
It's the
No, I
first-
don't know either. I was just
it's the
figuring there
first-
was something they said
It's
about
the
orange
first time
tabby
a
cats.
pussy's
Oh.
ever came back.
Oh, man.
You know what's messed up about that is the cat did not come back. Somebody turned the cat. The chick who stole the cat turned the cat into the Humane Society. He had to go pick it up.
first
So the
time
cat didn't even come back of its own free will.
First time a pussy's ever willingly came back and stayed.
jeez.
No.
He did post a picture of him sleeping with her.
Oh, perfect.
There's something to be said for orange cat problems.
That's right.
We have an orange cat.
Yeah, they are. I had a Norwegian forest cat that was orange.
It occurs
She
to
was
me-
very different than all the other cats.
Think of it differently. It's a ginger.
It's a ginger.
Mhm.
Yes. Yep.
it has no
Explains
soul.
a lot.
All right,
It
so we
was
have
just it was wild.
we have some quick comments on the Fox News article, really quick.
Yes.
Fox News. I'm not going to read half of what Andrew Kennedy's had to say. I can't put that on AM. Let's see. Andrew Kennedy does say Kevin has been using the vibration function on controllers since we've been cleaning discs in the PS1. All right. Kevin Nelson, collecting is the thrill of the hunt. Thank you, Kevin, for understanding. Andrew Kennedy, none of Kevin's Funkos can be seen from space with a black light. Kevin Nelson again says there are a lot of people who customize action figures and build dioramas, a lot of work of art, just like model building. Yeah, model building is probably 6 on that list, though. That's things that women don't find very attractive. More comments from Andrew Kennedy I cannot repeat on the air. And Jeremy says, I really hate you guys right now. Well, listen, I'm
No,
glad.
why? Hold on, Jeremy. Why? I am thrilled. I followed the whole thing that you posted about the cat, dude.
Kevin Nelson said that Jeremy's under the table right now.
No, he's not. If he was, you'd be hearing this.
That's low.
Now, that's funny because I can't see anything from Tro in my chat feed.
Really?
Yeah, nothing.
Really? Do you have him blocked?
Nope, but I see him on the screen.
Maybe
up
his
there,
privacy
but I can't
settings
see him
don't
here.
permit. That's a
Maybe.
possibility.
Yeah, he's right up there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think he's going to call in at 10:45 so he can help pick out football picks this year. We'll see if he agrees to play.
That's good. We'll keep it short.
Send him the video link.
Yeah,
Just
you
tell
can
him
video it. Yeah,
just
yeah,
tell him
yeah.
to tilt the camera down so we can see him.
Yeah, Jeremy,
Damn.
send me a message if you want to do video, and I'll send you the video link you can video in. All right. What are you doing, Paul? What are you doing? Oh, you're writing notes
Dude.
over there. Don't write notes. I'll read it to
I'm
the entire
passing a
class.
note to Tom in class because I want to see if he'll date you.
Tom, do you love me or do you want to be my friend? Anyway. Paul, do you have anything you want to bring up? Do you have any topics?
Kamala Harris is a communist. Communist. Did you see her freaking the Christmas video where she is from a couple years ago where she's talking about kids at Christmas and she's like, how dare you? How dare anyone use that phrase? Because if you're having a Merry Christmas, there's all these kids that aren't. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think so.
And then somebody did a brilliant edit where they followed it up with, "Hi, Merry Christmas. I'm Doug Emhoff, and this is my wife, Kamala Harris." Right? And it's just so superficial, man. Oh my god!
But everything about her
It's
is, though,
nauseous.
isn't it?
I am blown away, in all sincerity.
Hold on, careful with your words.
That people are not blown away by her. That people are.
Would she get better coverage on this show if you were?
That people are so sincere. I don't have a problem with people saying, "Yeah, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris," and these are the reasons why. People are not able to give any reasons why right now, with a few exceptions. 1, she's a Democrat. 2, she's a woman. Like, those are the reasons people are giving for voting for her. Lori, I forgot one.
She's vice president. Of course, she's been doing a
Right.
good
So
job.
except that all the crap she's talking about, I'm going to
And
do this,
she's
this, and that on
BIPOC.
day one, right? Well, guess what, lady? You could have done it at any point in the last 3.5 years. It's not like Donald Trump's the incumbent. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious if anybody in the chat room is voting for Harris. Could you post that you are and tell us why? Really? Any Bueller?
Besides J. Andrew Kennedy.
Bueller? No, even if it's J. Andrew Kennedy, I bet he's
No,
got
I
a
think he's
perfectly
going to have a
sound
really
reason.
dirty reason for voting for Harris.
You got to get your mind out of the gutter, Kevin.
Have you been
Like
reading
you
his
spent a
comments
few
this
minutes
show?
with the
Holy
guy, and the
cow.
next thing you know,
All right, on the Facebook side, we'll talk about a surprise judge ruling.
Oprah?
And you
Oh.
on AM will enjoy the commercials. Patronize our sponsors, please. Thanks. Outlaw Radio. All right, Outlaw Radio. I'm going to read this really quick. Paul, you're going to enjoy this. Now, of course, they're blaming this on Trump because this is from MSNBC, but a federal judge appointed by Trump dismissed criminal charges for machine gun possession this week, citing the Second Amendment and Supreme Court precedent. U.S. District Judge John Broom's ruling on Wednesday stemmed from the prosecution of Tamori Morgan, who was charged with 2 counts of possessing a machine gun under federal law. Morgan cited the Supreme Court's 2022 ruling in Bruin to argue that the case should be dismissed on Second Amendment grounds. Justice Clarence Thomas' opinion for the Republican-appointed majority in Bruin said that gun regulations can't stand unless they're consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. The Kansas federal judge wrote in the Morgan case that the government failed to meet its burden to demonstrate through historical analogs that regulation of the weapons at issue in this case are consistent with the nation's history of firearms regulations. So now they're allowing machine guns. And again, this has got a long way to go because it could make its way to the Supreme Court eventually. But if you think the state of Washington's ban on semi-automatic weapons is going to hold up under Supreme Court scrutiny, you're insane.
Yeah, probably won't.
And the fact that the Republicans in this state are so chicken-ish to even try to bring this into the courts to challenge it. I mean, Republicans have all the money, all the rich people are Republicans, all of that. And they won't do the court battle for it.
Not in this state.
Well, but they should be. Hold on, Outlaw Radio coming back on AM.
Network.com.
Stop it.
.com.
God damn it.
I'm Brandy Cruz, host of the Undivided Podcast, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio. Good luck. Good luck.
Outlaw Radio. So just really briefly while we wait for Paul to get in here, then we'll start our new segment, Get Off My Lawn. A U.S. District Court judge named John Brooms ruled on Wednesday that the defendant could not be tried for criminal charges for machine gun possession, arguing that the state did not show how regulating that type of weapon was consistent with our nation's normal regulatory action against firearms.
Which state was it? Because there are some states where if you do the right paperwork, you may own a machine gun.
Kansas federal judge. It gets back to the Supreme Court ruling in United States versus Rahimi. Oh no, that's a different one. Hold on.
Well, I believe it's Arizona is one of those states where if you've got the right paperwork, you are more than welcome to own a machine gun.
Well, but here's the problem, right? Because the Second Amendment trumps the Second Amendment trumps states' rights and states' laws, right? The state cannot pass a law that oversteps or overshoots the Constitution. Right. So if the Constitution says Second Amendment is you have the right to keep and bear arms, then theoretically the state should not be able to pass any law that infringes upon that because that's constitutional. Mm-hmm. Now, many states have, and many states are enforcing it, and Washington is one of a whole bunch of them. But I think the argument that will come into play is that the states have overshot the Constitution. Now, the fact that I'm gonna rip on Republicans in this state again. The fact that Republicans have not put the money together to challenge this in court so that they can start getting into the appeals courts and eventually to the Supreme Court so the Supreme Court can slap it down is mind-boggling to me. Because there's a lot of Republicans in this state with a whole bunch of money. They could take this stuff to court. And I'm not talking about like Alan Gottlieb, who owns this radio station and has the Second Amendment Network. He's doing stuff on his end as the nonprofit that he is. But I want to see the rich movers and shakers in the Republican Party in this state doing something. And they seem to bitch and whine and complain a lot about things. But when it comes time to get activated and motivated, they suddenly become very quiet. What happened to Joshua Freed? Lauren Culp was doing nothing but trying to burn the party down. Where's Tim Eyman? What's Semi Bird going to do now? Oh, he's going to sit at home and pout. I mean, come on. Anyway, So I just think it's interesting. I think eventually you're going to see a lot of these gun laws make it back to the Supreme Court sooner rather than later, because I think Republicans are being smart in some other states in regards to this issue, knowing that they're not going to have a majority in the Supreme Court like this for that long.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get as many cases before them and get this taken care of as quickly as we can before it has to change. I hate you. All right. Do you have any fun music we can use? How about one of Paul's bumps? We're going to debut a new segment called "Get Off My Lawn," and get off my perfect. Yeah.
Wait, is this the right bump? Oh, sorry.
It's
Wow,
not wrong.
Jander Kennedy, man, I don't know what to do with you. I wish you'd call in. I wish you'd leave some voicemail messages. That's all I have to say.
I'm going to start calling Kamala Harris her Indian name. Spread Eagle.
Wow. I don't even know what to do with you, Paul. I was not even going to. Oh, the phones are ringing.
Wait. Are you saying you think Spread Eagle is a good name for Kamala Harris's
Wrong
Indian
kind of
name?
Indian, Paul. Wrong kind of Indian.
No,
It's push
no
start.
duh.
It's push start.
It's
not
a
pull
push start, yeah.
Yeah, not pull start.
Your mic's on, Phil.
Oh, and they can hear me.
Oh, God. All right. Spread Eagle. I don't even know what to do with this. I don't even know how to handle this now.
Like this. You do it like this. Yeah.
We got Robert on the line.
All right.
Oh. All right, here comes, hold on, frame that out for a second. Robert Parker calling the president of the Kamala Harris fan club in Kitsap County. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, no. Dude, don't dump your girlfriends on me. Not having that.
Did you like Paul's
skid marks? Party, not mine.
Did you like Paul's new nickname for Kamala Harris? Her new Indian name?
What's that?
Spread Eagle.
I thought she was like Quickie Mart Indian, not come to our casino.
You're right. She's push
Yeah,
start,
She's
not pull
push
start.
not pull start.
But see, Kevin, I'm calling you out on your crap.
Well, what crap?
Why
Yes,
am I calling out
okay.
the Republican Party
Got real.
because they won't do your bidding, yet you won't donate to it, nor will you join our party, but you want them to do what you want them to do, and you call them cowards when they don't.
Well, I never used the
That
word
ain't fair,
coward.
buddy.
Well, actually.
Hold on.
Join the fight.
I didn't use the word coward for one. Don't put words in my mouth. I'm not Kamala Harris.
You
You
said
can't.
everything but
Hold on.
coward.
I'm not Kamala Harris. You can't just be putting things in my mouth. Okay. Look. As far as the rest of it, as far as
So, start doing Kevin's Kamala impression.
as far now I can't talk. I hate you, Paul. Oh my
So I
God.
challenge you, Kevin.
Okay, hold on.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Hold on. Listen.
Second Amendment Foundation, make a donation.
Hold on. I'll make a donation to the Second Amendment Foundation, but listen.
Cool.
Okay, but
I do. They're doing their
every
bidding.
time I try to
There's a silent
talk,
majority.
Paul starts gagging
make a
himself
donation
over
to them,
here,
too.
like Kamala Harris in Willie Brown's office, and I can't stop laughing. I hate you people. Every last one.
I will be quiet, Kevin.
So, Kevin,
Like
what
there's
are you
something
doing
shoved in
Wednesday
my
at
mouth.
5?
Kevin, answer Robert's question. Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on down. 5 o'clock at the Cloverleaf.
No, I'll be working at 5 o'clock.
You know, your bedroom, your business.
Yeah. Okay, so listen. The problem I have, Robert, here. My side hurts now. Okay, listen. Paul. The problem I have is that Republicans for years have been saying they need to stand up and fight against the agenda of the left.
They are.
But how are they? Like, honestly, Robert, how are they? Because they can't push any legislation through Olympia because the numbers are so so heavy in the Democrats' favor. Republicans
Yes.
can't even get a bill to be passed in their name because the Democrats don't want to do it because they don't want to give anybody any credit. So they've got to wait and find a Democrat that'll partner with them so the Democrat can get the lead on the bill to make the bill pass. So the Republicans can't even get a win there.
I don't disagree with any of that.
But that's my point,
So
though, right?
How much have you donated this year?
I don't donate to any party
to make that
generally.
happen?
I don't donate
how
to
many
any
doors
party.
have you knocked on?
Well,
how many doors have
politically
you knocked
or
on
hunting for
to
a
make
wife?
that change?
Politically.
I'm talking about politically.
None.
I'm not the
That means you can't bitch if you're not willing to put your own skin in the game.
Wait, what did you say I was?
No, he said you
said
can't
that means
bitch.
you can't
Oh, I
bitch
thought
if
he
you
called
got-
me a scared bitch, and I'm like,
No.
what?
He said you
This
can't-
deteriorated quickly.
No, he said you can't bitch if you're not going to put some skin in the game.
No, I totally can. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm just asking Republicans to do what they claim they're all about.
6 initiatives.
And I'm
6.
asking you to do the same thing.
I don't have a platform built on trying to overturn Democrats on everything that they do.
You think anybody else does?
Republicans have that platform. That's what Republicans are claiming. We're going to reel in the Democrats. We're going to stop the. What happened in COVID?
What makes that platform? Guys like Travis Couture, right?
Yes.
Are
No,
you
hold
helping
on.
get him elected? You should.
Yes.
He's
yes.
the loudest guy pushing on Fergie right now.
Right, but I'm not
Put the
talking.
money in it.
But I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the elected representatives. What I'm talking about is people filing the court cases and moving the legal
Yes,
proceedings
who do you think
forward.
Pete Serrano is?
Is there any?
Silent Majority Foundation, the same people that are fighting those gun laws that you're complaining about.
Is there anything
Wow,
pending?
He's really stepped up. He's running for AG now.
Is there anything pending on gun laws on the
Yes.
federal appeals
Yes.
court level?
Matter of fact, there's supposed to be one decided. I think it's next week.
Oh,
I was
really?
talking
Okay.
to Pete yesterday about it.
Okay. Can you get Pete on with us?
You know what?
Can you get Pete to come on with us? Pete Serrano.
Maybe if you beg.
Oh,
Beg like you want a
Jesus.
girlfriend.
Jesus, Robert.
He said beg like you want a girlfriend. Leaves a lot open. I just never mind. I'm not going to do it. Love you, Kevin.
Please don't.
They're not my
Yeah, you both make that
Funko
happen.
Pops.
All right, Robert, we love you. I know that you disagree with me. I've learned that all I have to
Well, I'm
do
just
is say
saying, no
something.
complaining without putting your money and your time on the plate.
I love that all I have to do to
Because
get you
that
to
means You're
call.
not part of the solution. You're part of the problem.
Well, I'm a lot part of a lot of problems, but I think all I got to do is say something bad about the Republican Party, and Robert will call in.
No, not necessarily true.
No?
A lot of times I may agree with you.
I wish you'd call in when you agreed with me. I'd love to hear what you agree. Okay, Robert, we love you.
I agree that you have no date this week.
That may not be true.
Sorry, called in.
That may not be true.
No, Robert, there's 3 women we don't recognize in the chat room
Shut
tonight.
up, Paul. A week from Wednesday, I will not be on the show because I'll be at the Journey Def Leppard and Cheap Trick concert, and I have an extra ticket, so I gotta take somebody with me.
Take Lori.
I'm not gonna take Lori.
Yeah,
with
you're-
me.
What's wrong with Lori?
You're probably
Because then
gonna take
people
Tom,
will be,
right?
because first of all, people would be like, "Oh, Kevin took Lori. There must be something going on with them."
No, they-
Secondly, I don't take losers on dates, and she only got 11% of the vote.
Oh, now you're doing your best Trump impression.
Emily Randall, come to the concert with me. I know you'll put out. All right, go ahead.
What do you care what other people think?
Dude, she
I
doesn't
don't.
play ball for that team.
Yeah, she
All right. Well, that's okay.
She's a
according to
woman
you.
in comfortable shoes.
According to you guys, I'm not much of a man, so there you go.
No, that's according to
Hey, you
Gutfield's
said
list.
it. We didn't.
All right, good night, Robert.
Great.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So Robert just called and agreed the Republicans are screwing the whole thing up. Thank you, Robert. All right. Phil, quickly, anything get off your lawnable? Anything you want to gripe about?
Top 2.
Top 2.
Why are they not enforcing front license plates?
That's a
It's,
great
it's
question.
nonsense.
That's a great question.
Like, I have to have a plate. Why can't the guy with the Tesla?
And there's not even pulling over people for expired tabs now either.
And why aren't we enforcing properly aimed headlights?
Properly aimed headlights?
Oh yeah, the lights that blind you because they're not aimed according to the law.
Yeah, I think it's hard hold people accountable for the aiming of their headlights, because I don't think the average person can aim their headlights. That's kind of, yeah. Okay. Lori, do you have a get off my lawnable moment? And then we'll get to our caller.
Well, now I do.
Got to get to him soon. The time is short.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. Go ahead. What's your get off my lawn?
My car
He's gonna kill me.
headlights are properly aimed.
Oh, my
However,
God.
there are some people still driving in vehicles from the 70s, so they like to flash their lights.
Now, are they properly aimed, or are they just how they came from the factory?
No, they're properly aimed.
Okay. What do you have on your get off your lawn?
Get off my lawn?
Yeah, get off your lawn.
Either me or Andy should be going to that concert.
Maybe it should be her and Andy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's my get off the lawn.
Andrew Kennedy, get off my lawn moment. We have zero proof Kevin doesn't push into the angry spider. I don't even know what that means. Also, front license plates are gay. Quit talking about it. All right. Let's bring Trojo on. Trojo, we're going to get to football picks in a sec. Okay, buddy?
Yes, sir. Hello.
How you doing there, bud?
I'm a free man. I'm not in jail, so I guess I'm doing
The
good.
cat came back. She wouldn't go away. The cat came back the very next day. Tom, what's your what's your get off my lawn moment?
The only one I have at the moment is Washington State's overreach. Their
Can you
overreach.
be more specific?
Yes, in the liquor and cannabis department, particularly the liquor department.
Liquor in the front, poker in the rear. Okay.
I
mean, if you're doing it right, Tom.
Yeah. I just find it very frustrating that.
So does she.
Yeah. That there are some things that are just decided for me by the state on how I do business, and I find it annoying.
It's true, dude. I know that when we had our bar, when we had our billiards parlor, there was
I got to shoot pool at your place.
I got into. We appreciate that, my friend. I learned very quickly on getting involved with the Bar Owners Association how closely resembling of the Waffen SS the Washington State Liquor Control Board was. They're the absolute worst. And what did it for me about 4 or 5 months after we took over the billiards parlor. Now, the billiards parlor had 2 front doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we operated a restaurant license, so we were able to serve beer and wine and hard alcohol, and we had a full kitchen.
Right.
But we operated like an Applebee's,
Yep.
right? Where everybody could come in, they could sit around the pool tables, play pool, and a guy that was playing pool could have a rum and coke, and he could have his teenage kids with him, and they could be playing pool and they could be eating food. Now, it meant that as a bartender and a business owner, I had to pay much closer attention. But I only had 18 pool tables, so it was fair. It's not like I got busy like a bar. So it was pretty easy to walk around, keep an eye on the cameras, and make sure that, because you could tell pretty easy who was going to be a problem and who wasn't. But the point is there was an operation that was run because the Liquor Control Board said, well, we have a job to do. We have to make sure that minors aren't getting served alcohol. Okay. Now, no bar owner in their right mind makes money off of selling minors alcohol.
Nope.
The alcohol that gets sold to minors happens in almost entirely in small little quickie marts or gas stations and stuff like that.
7-Eleven parking lot.
Right, because in large grocery stores you have clerks that are doing their job. They're checking IDs, etc. And for a business like us, there's too much risk involved, right? So we would never do it. And so in talking to law enforcement about this, they decided they were going to run this, quote, operation to ensure that the laws were being followed in Kitsap County. So what they did was they got Washington State Patrol, they got, I think, Kitsap County deputies, and then the Washington State Liquor Control Board. So there was this group of 12 vehicles that decided to go hit all the bars in Kitsap County over the course of a weekend. So they started on like a Thursday night, went through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, okay? And when they hit us on a Friday night. They blocked both of my entrances in, armed, made everybody like walk out one at a time after they were searched and checked. Now, a small business like ours, that cost me about $4,000 in sales that night, because it's funny how when you're that kind of an establishment, when the liquor control board and the cops all come in and they ID and card every one of your customers, yeah, they don't come back.
No.
They're like, yeah, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And they went home. And I did almost no business the rest of the night. And it was because it didn't take word long to get around that cops were going around and hitting all these places. Anyway, so we decided as a bar owners association that we wanted to audit their results. As taxpayers, we felt that I was our right.
Mhm.
And so we had the head of the Washington State Patrol and the head of the Liquor Control Board come and meet with our organization, and they expressed to us that through the course of that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, they gave out a total of 3 citations. 3. Yep. One was for an unlicensed bartender, and 2 were for gentlemen clearly over the age of 50 that didn't have IDs on them.
That's ridiculous.
And they spent $1.2 million on the operation.
See,
that's your tax dollars hard at work. No, on all the bars in the Kitsap County. Yeah. So they hit all the bars. And again, that's the kind of thing that when you're a bar owner, right? And we were like, we worked really hard to make sure we do everything right because
Yep.
you're scared of losing your license, then
Yep.
your business is done.
Yep.
And so you work really hard at this and you get treated like absolute dog crap.
Yeah.
And your business, you lose all that business for the night. And when you own a bar, losing all of your revenue on a Friday or Saturday night, that can be the difference between making money that month or not, because the profit margins are so small. So it was the kind of thing, and it hit a lot of other businesses worse than it hit us, right? It's just, so when people complain and bitch about people like us trying to hold government agencies accountable and responsible, you don't always realize all of the different directions that it hurts people.
See,
and it does. And that just goes exactly to what you said. They have their hands in too many things trying to tell you what to do in too many ways.
So you guys are all going to bitch and complain when we have to do the show after 11 because you guys are making this segment take way too long.
Nobody gives a damn about football, brother. I love you, but it's preseason.
I do. Tom does.
I'm pretty.
Trojo's on the phone. He doesn't even ever call this show, but he's here because he cares about football.
No,
Just
he's
'cause you
here
come in
because he
last
finally
place
got
every
pussy.
year. All right, go ahead, Tom. Anything else on your get off my lawn?
No, so I've just in response to that, the enforcement side for bars and stuff I've heard is really bad. The guy that I deal with through the state is actually a great human being. He's a good resource. And
Phil. So if you're listening, Tom really likes you.
Yeah, his name's Craig actually, but answers questions.
I'm gonna buy
all
you
the
a
rest
sense of
that.
freaking humor, dude. So help me, Jesus.
Craig is a good guy.
Couple. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, my gripe is I'm not allowed to do business the way I want. Like, I can't go and extend a bar credit. All of my sales have to be COD. So the state has their fingers in that. So that's just
they prevent you from letting somebody run up a tab or something like that
on the wholesale side.
On
So
the
when I
wholesale,
sell
okay.
to bars, restaurants, etc., everything has to be COD.
Okay.
Which causes problems when you
But
get
yet
into
produce suppliers don't have to do that,
Nope.
and
Nope.
You can't open up Black Green Savings and Loan.
That's a whole nother regulation mess I have no interest in. No interest in. Yeah,
Zero interest. I mean, you get a lot of interest for no interest.
All right, some comments in chat, by the way, and we'll get to Paul's. J. Andrew Kennedy's get off my moment. Robert not being on camera is not okay. It's impossible not to lose a full grip without an image. I'm starting to hate this place.
We need to start paying him. This shit's funny.
I wish he would call in and leave a voicemail message. That's why I set up the voicemail line, because I thought some people would come up with some really good witty stuff to put in the voicemail line. I thought that'd be great. And Kevin Nelson's get off my lawn. Certain neighbors of mine need to try acting like adults and get along. Good luck. Paul, do you have a get off my lawn moment?
I do, but according to you, I've taken up too much time.
Go ahead.
So I don't want to
Well,
keep
now
going.
we have to wait until after 11 to even start football picks now, because you hijacked it with your story about the Luftwaffe. But go ahead.
You don't even...
The Gestapo.
This is the problem when you hire your friends and then you have to fire them. I'm just telling you, man.
What's your get off my lawn moment? Do you have one?
I do have a get off my lawn moment,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to mention any names here, but when you divorce somebody and you attempt to I don't know, take your child for what effectively amounts to 0 reasons. It's a really good idea to not get your ass arrested for 4th-degree assault, domestic violence, and thrown in jail. It's a good idea to not get your ass under investigation by your employer for theft. You know what else is a great idea?
What's that?
Is not to get into a fight that is so bad with your current husband that he grabs your other kid and flees town. That's all.
Okay.
Those are just good ideas. Just recommendations, folks.
Thanks, buddy. Can I give my get off my lawn? Oh, Trojo, do you have a get off my lawn moment?
Oh yeah.
Can you see over the grass?
My get off my lawn moment is don't write a letter telling somebody that you're going to steal their cat. Actually, steal their cat, and then play victim after we come get our cat, because I was going to kick your door in. I'm not saying I was going to actually do that, but
Tro, you were saying publicly that you were going to do that.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, no, I did.
You're like, woman, I'm going to kick your door in.
No, I really did say that. I mean, I did that, and I did that, and the fact of the matter is, as I was saying, she really came onto our property, onto our lawn, and took our cat after she wrote a letter to us saying that she was going to take our cat. Can we help her catch our cat?
Well, clearly she thought the cat was feral and didn't belong to anybody.
You need to get a restraining order against her to keep her off the property. From
That's actually a great idea, Kevin. Yeah, you should go get a temporary restraining or TRO.
I would use a super soaker full of cat pee and spray her down.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Tom.
Instead of getting a restraining order,
that would actually be assault, though, Tom.
instead of getting a restraining order, I just suggest you burn her house to the ground. Okay,
that would be attempted murder, Kevin.
Only if she's home.
I think the super soaker full of cat pee is a
worst case scenario would be arson, Kevin.
Well,
can I just point out, like, the longer this goes on year after year, Kevin's answers to stuff like this gets a lot more specific.
Yep, they do. Okay, here I'm going to really quickly give my
Get off my lawn!
moment, and then I'm going to end the show on the AM, and then we'll go on to Facebook only, do our football picks really quick. So here's
before you start.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
When I have grandkids, I'm going to teach them all the important noises. Like, what does a pig say? Oink oink. What does a cow say? Moo. What does Kamala Harris say?
Hey, Jeremy, it's been a long time since you've been around on the show.
What's a pig say? Should be license registration.
Hey, no. We are not disrespecting our men in blue on this show. Some of them are awful. Me the joke? Most of them are good.
Who do you think told me the joke?
Right now, they're probably sitting at a Dunkin' Donuts listening to this show right now. So just stop it. All right.
We don't have any Dunkin' Donuts around here, and that makes me
until
mad.
They have to respond to something they don't feel that they need to respond to.
Jeremy, how did your Cowboys look in the preseason?
Can I give my parting shot moment, Paul?
Oh, you're still doing that?
Yeah, I haven't given mine yet.
Okay.
That's the exact same sound the Cowboys made today. I would just like
yesterday.
My get off my lawn moment is directed at Robert Parker and Paul. Paul and Robert, both.
I mean, if there was snow, would you pee a little yellow?
Because both of them over the years have said, I'm going to be your wingman. I'm going to help you figure out your
Don't go there, Kevin.
I'm going to be your wingman.
Don't do it.
And Paul hasn't been my wingman for 15 years. 15 years it's been since he tried to play wingman, and Robert's never done.
Tried to play wingman.
So you guys just need to admit you suck, and all of your well-intentioned. Perfect.
You're like Tom Cruise in the first freaking Top Gun movie, where the wingman keeps leaving the other guy, keeps taking off.
Have you watched Reacher, the show Reacher? Not the movie Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise, but the actual show on Amazon.
The series?
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh my
no.
God, it's so good. Season number 2 is so awesome.
What makes it so good?
It's just.
I mean, it's just
really
another
good.
Jack Reacher type stuff, right?
But it's not Tom Cruise. It's a closer to adaptation to who he was supposed to be based on the book. Because all the Reacher stuff is based on a series of books.
Okay.
And this is more based off of who the character was supposed to be, not the 5'9" Tom Cruise version.
Right.
It's a good show.
More to it in it. No, you don't. You
All
dig
right.
it. You dig it.
We're going to wrap up this show on AM. For those of you on AM, if you've been offended, you've been listening to KBRO. And then if you remember, the views expressed on this show do not support anybody, but Trojo agrees with all of them. We're going to go to Facebook only. If you're on AM, we'll see you Wednesday at 7 p.m. We might have a guest on Wednesday. I'll let you guys know about that as we get closer. Otherwise, it'll just be us again. If you like NFL football picks and stuff, we'll do a little bit of that on the Facebook side only, and then we'll wrap up the show. Remember, tonight's show is brought to you in part by Black Ring Spirits and the Do Not Elect Michelle Caldier campaign. Remember, she still owes my kids money.
And remember, tonight. We're actually doing this sports stuff because we've been asked to put together this short snippet for our friends over at KJR who are considering having us come over and do some sports work for them. So,
do they know that?
We're just trying to prove to them that we're capable. They didn't say anything about any kind of play-by-play or color commentary. They just said, "Prove to us you can do sports, and we'll talk."
Robert says we pitched.
So
we pitched. Robert says we pitched Heidi to you on a silver platter and you fumbled. Heidi was never going to date me. I'm not alpha male, conservative male enough for that kind of woman. So if that's the best you had, Robert, you were failing from the onset. AM, good night. Facebook, stay there. It's the Outlaw Radio Network.
Bless you, Tom. Are you all right over there, my friend? Or did a liberal walk past?
He just pooped himself. All right.
I started coughing so hard, I think my hemorrhoids came out.
All right. Do you have the NFL music Dennis normally plays, Phil, or do you know where that is? You don't know where it is? All right. So here's what we're going to do tonight. This will be really quick and really easy. We're only going to make our preseason picks tonight. The first games do not start until a week from Thursday. So next Sunday, we'll make our regular weekly picks. All right. So what we're going to do for our picks is we're going to pick the division winners. We're going to pick some draft picks and number one seeds, the teams we suspect to be in the Super Bowl, the champs, and who the MVPs are. This will be quick and easy. Paul, we're going to start with you.
Yay.
Who wins the AFC West? You have 4 teams to choose from: the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Broncos, and the Chargers.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Chiefs again this year. I do not think they're going to get knocked off that pedestal yet.
All right. I agree with you, Tom.
Oh, I'll agree with the Chiefs.
Lori?
But I will tell you, I think Denver is going to be coming hot on their heels, man, with Bo Nix. Kid's the real deal, man.
I think Denver comes in third because I still think the Chargers are going to be really good with Harbaugh, and they've still got their quarterback.
Oh, no, listen, don't get me wrong, man. Harbaugh is he's going to do a hell of a good job, but I don't think he has the talent yet.
All right. Trojo, who wins the AFC West?
I'm going to go ahead and go with the Chiefs.
All right. And Phil, who wins the AFC West?
I'm just not in. I don't know nothing about it. So I was playing just to play last year.
So you're not going to play this year?
Oakland?
I have nothing.
Oh, whatever. There's not even a team in Oakland anymore, Paul.
Well, it's Las Vegas now.
There's a lot of stuff not in Oakland.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Businesses.
I'll pick first on this one. Who wins the AFC South? Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Indy. Boy, Houston. Houston's going to be good this year. Tom?
Jacksonville.
Lori?
Houston.
Trojo?
Houston, Texans.
And Paul?
Boy, Houston's going to be good this year. Yeah, I'll go with Houston.
That's the same sound the Cowboys make. All right. Tom?
Yes.
AFC North. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland.
Cincinnati.
All right. Lori? Why don't you go stand on that side closer to him so that you can get to that mic
Fine,
easier?
I will. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. I don't know why. Just a
I don't
feeling.
know why either. They're going to be the worst team in the division. Trojo?
I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be the Ravens again.
Paul?
I think Trojo's, I think it'd be Baltimore.
That's who I got too. I wanted to be Cincinnati, but Baltimore's going to be good this year. Lori!
Baltimore's lost their defensive coordinator. They ain't going to be that good.
Lori.
Yes.
The AFC East.
Yes.
Miami, New England, Buffalo, and the Jets.
I'm gonna go with fins up, Dolphins.
Miami, all right. Trojo?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Okay. Paul?
Buffalo.
All right. I'm going to go with the Jets.
They are the Buffalo, by the way, is the heavy favorites, and I mean heavy favorites.
I'm going to go with the Jets. I think if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, they can win that division. Tom?
No, I'm going to agree with Paul on Buffalo.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Trojo, you'll pick first. And it's your favorite division, the NFC East. Cowboys, Giants, Redskins, Beagles.
Oh, it's definitely going to be Cowboys again. Nobody believes it, but it will be.
Sure it will be. I'm going to wake up tomorrow next to Sandra Bullock buck naked in my bed. Paul?
The Eagles.
I'm going to go with Philadelphia as well. Tom?
Yeah, I agree with Philly.
And Lori?
Philly.
All right. Paul, the NFC South. Atlanta. This is the weird division. Atlanta, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Carolina.
Atlanta. With Michael Penix at the helm.
Tampa Bay. I got Tampa Bay. Tom?
Saints.
Lori? Pick Carolina. Nobody else has.
No, I'm going to go with Atlanta.
And Trojo?
Good Lord, talk about your shit-stained division of the NFL. This would be the one. Falcons?
All right. I'm all about Baker Mayfield. NFC North. Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota. This is tough, man. I got to go with Detroit, but it could really be Green Bay. Tom?
Oh, Detroit.
Lori?
Detroit.
Trojo?
I'm going to go with the Vikings.
What? Their quarterback is hurt. J.J. McCarthy got hurt, and they got to start Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold makes the same.
Darnold.
Sam Darnold makes the same sound that Kamala Harris makes.
I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Paul, who you got?
Lions.
All right. Tom, you'll pick first. NFC West. Seattle, Arizona, San Francisco, and the Rams.
I got to take Seattle.
All right. Lori?
Seahawks.
Trojo?
Oh, this hurts. This one hurts. Goddamn 49ers.
Yeah. Paul?
You let that in your mouth, Trojo.
This is a tough one because it is. Because the 49ers are predicted to win the NFC West. But my instinct is telling me, having watched very close preseason games, and we all know how incredibly little preseason games matter, and that it should make no difference whatsoever in my pick. But there were a few standout freaking issues within the preseason this year, which allows me to I am confidently able to not confidently say, I hope it's going to be Seattle, and it might be because I'm a complete homer, but it will most probably be San Francisco. But I'll take Seattle because I'm a total homer.
All right, I got San Fran.
Yeah, because you ain't a real fan.
I'm a real fan, but
No, you're not.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not.
I'm going to be stupid
Nope.
and just be like, I'm
Not
going to
a
win
fan.
every game.
Winning is the most important thing. Got to win
All right.
everything. Can't be
All
a
right,
fan.
Here we go.
Don't be a fan.
Paul, you'll pick first. What team ends up with the number 1 draft pick after this season? In other
Probably
words,
Seattle.
Who is the worst team in the league?
The worst team.
Yeah,
The worst team. That leaves a lot open to interpretation.
They're gonna be in the South.
I'm gonna say Carolina.
That's a good, solid.
I got New England.
That's solid too.
Tom?
You know, I'm gonna say New England with a little bit of joy in my heart.
You mad, bro?
Lori?
No, I can't stand.
What team is the worst team in the NFL and gets the number 1 pick?
Carolina.
And Trojo?
I want to go with Carolina, but I'm actually going to go with the Giants.
Oh,
that could.
All right, I can see that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That big kid, man. He's gonna be coming into his sophomore year. What's the name of the quarterback up there for the Giants?
He's not in his sophomore
Nobody
year.
fucking cares.
He's not in his sophomore year. He's been this is his 5th year, and he's been awful every year.
Do you remember his name? Because I sure
Daniel
as hell
Jones.
don't. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of us is a student of the game, and one of us is you. All right. Who is going to be the number 1
What's
seed?
a Tampa double down? Tampa 2 double down. What is it?
It's a defensive alignment with two defensive backs deep, and then
No,
two defensive
you're
backs
wrong. You're not a
moderately
student
deep.
of shit. All right, keep going.
What is it?
I don't know. I just know that ain't it. Keep going.
Whatever, Paul. All right. Who will be the number 1 seed in the NFC next year? I hate to say it, but it'll be San Fran. Tom?
In the NFC?
Yeah, NFC's number 1
Come
seed.
on, show what a fucking fan is like, Tom. Come on, Tom.
Man, number 1 seed in the NFC next year.
Be a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, it won't be Seattle.
Be a
It
fucking
won't
fan,
be Seattle,
Tom.
dude.
Tom, you're
It
killing
won't-
me,
it won't be
man.
Seattle.
Be the oh my
Who will it be?
traitor. Oh, today, Tom.
Let's see. Ask someone else. I'm gonna noodle on this for a second.
Who do you got, Paul? Tom?
Oh, Tom.
We'll come back to you in a minute. Lori, who do you got? Lori, who do you have? Number 1 NFC seed.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Raiders or
No, they're AFC.
AFC? Yeah.
And they're not going to be the number 1 seed for anything.
No.
Damn.
They'll be number 1 seed, all right.
She's like, oh shit, I'm looking at the wrong year. This is 1988.
You know my secrets now. Sorry. NFC. Sorry, Trojo. Cowboys.
Ooh. You don't even have the Cowboys winning their own division.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant
No,
we had the number 1
Number 1
pick.
Number 1 seed.
pick.
Like the
Oh,
number
sorry.
1 team in the
Okay,
NFC
got
for
it,
the
got
playoffs.
it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought picking first in the draft. Sorry.
No, you had Carolina.
She
pick-
just-
Wait, hold on. You
Yeah.
said Carolina. So do you want it to be Dallas instead? Or Carolina? with
Would
the
you
number 1
stop
pick?
messing with her?
Never mind.
Let her pick. Stop messing with her.
Because if she picks Dallas and she's right, I will literally celebrate my ass off.
I'm telling you now, Seattle will
Number
have
1 seed.
the best defense in the NFL sitting right here in Seattle.
I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
I'll go with Seattle.
Seattle will be the number 1 seed. All right.
I know it's
Trojo,
not
who
right.
do you got as the number 1
Dallas.
seed? Of course you do.
Thank you
Fucker
for
didn't even
clarifying,
breathe,
Kevin.
man.
Fucking homer.
I'm tired.
He was like, "There's nothing wrong with being a homer, Kevin."
Paul, what's yours?
What's my what? What's the question?
Number 1 seed in the NFC.
I will take San Francisco.
You don't even have to win in their own division.
Yeah, fuck San Francisco.
Okay.
I hate them, but
All right. Tom, who do you got?
Yeah, I'll take the Hawks.
All right. Lori,
Yeah.
who's the number 1 team in the AFC? Who's the number 1 seed in the AFC? Doesn't mean remember, it doesn't mean who's the best team.
No,
it means
no.
who has the most wins,
I know.
best record.
I'm gonna go with Chiefs.
All right. Trojo?
Oh my God. I'm gonna go with the Ravens again.
All right.
yep, I think that's a good, solid,
Who do you got,
pick.
Paul?
Baltimore. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to pick Houston, and let me tell you why.
Nobody cares why.
Because Baltimore plays against 2 other really good teams in Cincinnati and Cleveland. Kansas City is going to have to. Kansas City's going to have to play against Bo Nix in Denver and the Chargers. Meanwhile, Houston is playing in a weak-ass division. That division's garbage. So I think they can come out with a really good record in their in-division games. I think they'll be the number 1 seed. Tom, who do you got?
Detroit.
AFC, Tom, not the NFC.
Did he ever give his NFC team?
Oh, I already gave you my NFC.
Yeah, Seattle was your NFC.
Yeah, Seattle was my NFC. Number 1 seed in the AFC.
Yes, the opposite of the NFC.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I got Kansas City.
Kansas City. All right. This will be the fun one for everybody. Trojo, you'll pick first. Seattle will play 17 games in the regular season. How many of those will they win? Ties do not count. Losses do not count. How many do they have in the win column at the end of the year, Tom? Trojo?
I just don't believe in Geno Smith, so I'm saying they're going to only win 8 games.
8. All right. Paul?
Well, I think that the one thing that this preseason showed is that Seattle has a backup quarterback that's worth some salt, and he can step in if Geno Smith doesn't produce. But I think Geno Smith is going to produce in the new system this year.
That Ryan Grubb offense
and
looks great.
Fucking looks phenomenal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I can say with 90% certainty that the best defense in the NFL will be right here in Seattle. So with a moderately well-performing offense and a quarterback who potentially may light up the scoreboard, probably won't, but they'll be better than average in this new system. I think, and the question was, how many wins will they have?
How many wins of the 17 regular season games will they win?
They'll have 11.
11. Wow. All right.
And it'll be because of their defense.
I got 9. I mean, I think they're going to have the exact same record as last year. I think they're going to show some improvement in some spots, but 9. Tom?
I like 11 and 6.
Okay.
It's a real fan right there.
And Lori?
Real fan.
10 and 7.
10 wins. All right.
A little less of a fan, but still
good,
a real fan.
Good scope, though. 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. All right. Paul, you'll pick first. Who is your AFC champion? What AFC team goes to the Super Bowl?
Boy, crap. I'm going to say Houston. I think C.J. Stroud is young, but they got a lot of firepower.
All right. I got Kansas City going to the Super Bowl. Tom?
Kansas City's past their prime, bud.
They just won the last 2 Super Bowls.
I know, and now they're going to have to re-sign guys and restructure a lot of stuff. People are going to be asking for a lot of money.
They're going to be really good this year. I think you're right. In the future, they're going to have issues, but this year they're going to be really good. Tom?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on the Dennis bandwagon. I think the Chargers are due with Mr. Harbaugh at the helm.
Oh, they're going to be a force, I think.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are due.
All right. Lori, who's your AFC champ?
Chiefs.
And Trojo, your AFC champs.
They trying to go for history, and you got Mahomes, and until you beat them, gotta go with the Chiefs.
Yeah. All right. NFC champ. I think it's going to be a rematch from last year. San Francisco back in the Super Bowl. Tom?
Detroit.
Lori?
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Wow, all right. Trojo, Dallas?
I am going with Dallas, but not for the reason you think.
Well, the reason I was thinking is because you're a fucking idiot. That's the reason I was thinking.
No. Seriously.
No.
It's this year is the make or break season for Dak. It's the make or break season for Mike McCarthy. It's the make or break season. Look, CD, he wants his money. He may hold out. They've got to put up numbers this year. They've got to go at least to the NFC Championship or Super Bowl, or everybody's gone. So this is a make or break year for them. So I am going to go with Dallas.
Hey, quick question for about your Cowboys. Do you think they sign Dak to an extension before the season starts? Or do you think that this carries over into the next offseason?
I honestly think it carries over. I mean, you look at what they're doing with CeeDee Lamb. There's no way. I mean, mind you, I think CeeDee is being an idiot right now because they've offered him 33, and he doesn't, and he's turned that down. But it shouldn't have even came to this point where couldn't gotten to the point where it shouldn't even be negotiating this long. They should have signed him a long time ago. CD absolutely earned his money, but no, but Dak, I love Dak. You look at Dak. Look, nobody can deny that Dak is a great, and he really is. He is a great regular season quarterback. But even I'm not dumb enough to. I'm not even dumb enough. No, he has never. Dak has never had a losing season,
except in the playoffs.
Let me say this
until he gets to the playoffs.
That's right. Until he gets. To
I would love nothing more than for Dallas to go to the Super Bowl and lose, because
I just want to see him get there first.
Well, hold on, and here's why. Here's why though, because if they made it to the Super Bowl, even if they lost, they'd have to pay Dak. And then they would pay Dak somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 million a year. They would screw themselves for the next 5 or 6 years going forward with the cap. They wouldn't be able to sign anybody. They'd become a horrible team all over again. They would suck because they were paying Dak Prescott $62 million a year, and they got blown out in the Super Bowl. That would be heaven to me. That'd be great.
That would probably you would be right about that, except the way the cap goes up every freaking year. So I mean, that's.
But they're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay Micah Parsons. They're gonna have to pay CeeDee Lamb. I mean,
CeeDee Lamb will get paid this year. CeeDee Lamb will get paid this year. Micah Parsons will get paid. Micah Parsons is 100% going to reset the market. Period. For linebackers, he is going to reset the market 100%.
Paul, who is your your NFC champion in the Super Bowl?
I should honestly say San Francisco, but having really studied and understand how Ryan Grubb runs his offense, and you look at the weapons that Seattle has, and they have found 2 diamonds in the rough this year in the preseason that are going to be big time contributors. Now, they now have a legitimate speed demon with world-class speed now that's going to be returning guy very much like Percy Harvin. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head.
The guy, D. Eskridge, is that who you're talking about?
Nope, won't be. In fact, I don't know if D. Eskridge. Sherrault, yeah,
Sherrault. Okay.
I don't know that D. Eskridge will make the team. Although during the game Saturday, he did try to make a name for himself, and if he does make the team, I don't think I can complain about that. But the dude can't stay healthy. And then this other running back that Seattle picked up in the draft 2 years ago is finally showing some promise. The kid that
Charbonnet or
no, Zach Charbonnet was from UCLA. And the kid was picked up in the same McIntosh.
Oh yeah, Kenny McIntosh.
Yeah, Kenny McIntosh. And he's that kid's showing he's a real he's a smaller back that pounds you hard. A little bit smaller version of Marshawn Lynch with a little bit more speed. So I think they've got 3 really good running backs in there. They've got all the weapons on offense now. And really, it's going to come down to how well they do on offense. It's going to come right down to how well their quarterback play is. And I think that you're going to see, like I said, I've already said it, man, you're going to see the best defense in the NFL there. As long as Byron Murphy plays up to his potential. And that kid from Texas is a beast.
Yes, he is.
He's just a beast, man. I don't know how I feel about him owing money to transvestites and stuff, but whatever, dude. It's in your own bedroom, so it's cool, I guess.
Okay.
But if he comes out to a game wearing a bra, we're gonna have issues.
So you got Seattle then?
Yeah.
All right. One other thing I want to put in here, just for fun. This won't really help, but do the Mariners make the playoffs this year? I know this isn't football related.
I hope that they do,
but
I don't think so. But I hope they do. It'd be fun to root for them.
Paul says no. I say no. Tom?
I haven't followed any baseball this year, but everything
Say
I've
yes.
heard,
Give Kevin cannon fodder.
Everything I've heard thus far, they don't have a snowball's chance.
All right. Lori, do the Mariners make the playoffs?
Give me some hope. Just say yes, Lori.
I'll say yes because Dan Wilson's there, but I mean, I think that's just a temporary.
Vote for Pedro.
So you say yes?
Ooh, Tom.
Trojo?
I think the Mariners will do what the Mariners always do.
What do they do?
I say no.
You say no. All right. All right. Just a couple more questions and we're done. Super Bowl. Tom, who makes the Super Bowl? Or who wins the Super Bowl?
Detroit.
All right. Lori, who wins the Super Bowl? You have Kansas City, Philly. Not that you have to choose them. You could, hedge your bet and go somewhere else. But
I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Three-peat.
I am going to...
They're going for the 3.
I am going to make a suggestion, Kevin.
Yeah.
That in week 8, halfway through the season, we hit these exact same questions up again.
I love that.
And then we
that.
can leave them the same. And if we leave them, they're worth bonus points. Or if we want to change them, we can change them. But if we leave them with our first pick, you get like 5 bonus points.
All in favor?
Okay, we'll figure that out. Yeah, we'll figure
Would
that
that be
out.
fun?
Yeah.
So you get a chance to go back and change your mind later on
All
in
right.
the season.
Trojo, who wins the Super Bowl? Dallas?
I'm actually going to be realistic about this. I would love to see Dallas take number 6.
I heard his sphincter
But-
tighten.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to.
He's got a friend over.
God, I cannot. I can't bet against Pat Mahomes, man. I mean, I can't bet against the Chiefs.
Oh, that
If
dude's
the Chiefs,
incredible.
They,
Yeah, you got to loosen that up for penetration there, buddy.
All right.
yeah.
Tell Chad we said hi. Paul, who wins the Super Bowl?
Well, if I said I have no idea, you would be like, Paul, the point is you're supposed to, guess, right?
You got to make a pick, yeah.
So, look, if I got to say who wins the Super Bowl, I think that until proven otherwise, until you beat the guy at the top of the hill, you got to stick with the guy at the top of the hill, which is Kansas City.
But they're not. You have Houston going to the Super Bowl. Not Kansas. Okay.
I am doubling down on this crap, dude. I have no idea who's going to win.
There you go.
Like, I am throwing shit out there, hoping something sticks.
All right.
I'm doing my best Kamala Harris impression.
Okay. I don't want this to be the case, but I think San Francisco wins it this year.
Super Bowl?
They're so deep, man. They're
No.
so deep.
That's good, man.
They're so deep, like Willie Brown wasn't Kamala. They're so deep. I mean, the defensively, offensively, just everything. They got all the weapons all over the place. Christian McCaffrey's a beast. Brock Purdy is not getting paid like a top-tier quarterback, which he will after this season. This is their opportunity to do it. They're going to be really good. I hate it. I hate the Niners, but they're going to be really good. All right, who is the Super Bowl MVP, Lori?
Do I have to stay with the
No,
team
you
I
pick
picked?
anybody you want. Anybody you want.
I'm going to hedge my bet with Christian McCaffrey then.
Damn, that's exactly who I was going to say, too.
All right,
Yep.
Trojo, who is your Super Bowl MVP?
Great white
Pat
hope.
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
That's a solid pick, too.
Paul, who's yours?
I'm gonna take McCaffrey, man. If they make it there, that dude is he's everywhere.
Brock Purdy will be your MVP.
He's like Jesus Christ superstar.
Tom, who's your MVP?
Superstar.
To be honest, I have no idea.
Great answer, man. That's honesty right there, Tom. Brutal honesty.
Well, I haven't had a chance to follow any individual.
I mean, that
players,
says it right
really.
there. I have no fucking clue.
Do you want to take the quarterback for the Lions just so you pick somebody, or what do you
Sure.
want to do? Who is the quarterback for the Lions? What's his name?
I'm not sure.
He used to be the quarterback with the Rams. Goff. Yeah.
Is that
All right.
who it is?
All right. Lastly, and this is for a whole bunch of points if you get it early on, who will be your NFL MVP? So the MVP of the whole league for the entire season, Lori. Trojo, you're up first.
I'm going to go with the man I think should have won it the last time, McCaffrey.
All right. Paul, who's your MVP of the league?
Yeah, man, that's a
Geno
solid
Smith?
pick. No. I don't even know how that dude plays football as a quarterback. When you look at him and you watch him walk, like he's knock-kneed, right? Like from the knee down, his legs stick out at this weird angle. It's really kind of creepy.
Okay.
You're gonna think that I'm crazy for this, but I think my gut's talking to me, and I think it is gonna be your rookie quarterback for the Bears.
Caleb Williams. All right. Okay. Yeah. I got C.J. Stroud. I think that
I think
that
a
he's
stud,
gonna,
man.
And again, they got Stephon Diggs from Buffalo to play down there.
Yeah.
They brought in a new running back. That offense is gonna be phenomenal. Tom,
which is why Seattle's defense is going to cause them to win everything. Man.
Tom,
league-wide MVP.
League-wide MVP for the season. Yep.
Yeah. Let's just make a left turn. Brock Purdy.
I'm going to take Jesus, Robert, for 1,000.
And Lori, who's yours, Lori?
I'm gonna go with Mahomes.
Good solid pick.
Mahomes. All right, that's going to conclude our picks.
Thank you,
that's all the
Jesus,
preseason
again.
stuff. Trojo, are you going to call in every week, or what's your plan on making picks? You are?
My plan at this point, since football season has happened, I make no promises.
Of course not. You're a
But I'm
Cowboys
going
fan.
to actually try. You know what? I'm actually, unless something happened and I'm sick or I can't do it, I'm gonna be there every week. If y'all want me in studio, I would like to be in studio for football season.
You of course you can be in studio, but you know we also now have this video feature. Yeah. You can come on via video.
Yeah, if that's easier for you with the kids and everything.
Yep.
You know what? We'll see. But either way, I'll be on the show every week for football season.
All right. Very good. Very good.
Kevin.
What?
Come on now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He like I told you, man. He's got this this little tickle in the back of his throat. It
yeah.
doesn't quite get it right.
Yeah.
You can do it, Kevin. Want a lesson? Look.
All right.
I don't know
Trojo,
what's
good night.
worse.
Parting shots. Anybody? I'm not even going to go around.
Even Lori's
Anybody
telling me
have a
I'm doing it
parting
right.
shot that they want to say really quick? Anybody have one they want to throw out? Parting shot.
Stop stealing people's cats. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, are you a big fan of Kamala Harris? Are you going to vote for her?
I'm gonna take the Samuel L. Jackson approach. I want to blow for her because she's black. Oh, is she?
Hey! No, hold on. Let me ask him a question, Jeremy. Serious question, right? Because we've heard that debate go back and forth. Now, her dad is Jamaican, right? But some people say when they wrote, like her dad did, he wrote down when they asked him his race on his background paperwork, and he didn't put African American, he put Jamaican. And some people are like really touchy about that. What say you?
What do I say?
Yeah, what do you say?
What color is most Jamaicans?
Good point.
No, hold on. No, that's a cheesy ass, chump ass, chicken shit. Like I don't want to answer the question. No, because he didn't put African American down. He put that he was Jamaican, and for whatever reason, I don't want to pretend like I understand it. Jamaican people do not list themselves as African American. For some reason, they list themselves as Jamaicans.
This is correct.
I don't know why they
This
do
is
that,
correct.
right? But clearly, they have a reason for it, and I don't have any clue. I don't have no way. I can't identify. So I'm just asking you.
I have no.
And if you
answer
say
for it either
Indian,
way.
then I'm gonna fucking laugh my ass off. But
I have no. In today's world where you can identify with what you want to identify with, God bless her.
Oh, all right, well, you know what a woman is, right?
Yup.
Okay, I think we're good then. That's all you had to say, brother. That's all you had to say.
All right. I don't.
Yes, sir.
My only parting shot is I went to the fair this weekend.
Which fair?
The Kitsap County Fair and Stampede Rodeo, and
He found it to be obnoxious and
it
obtuse.
was
A waste of time and money.
well. Listen, I took my daughter.
Okay, so
She
that was
wanted
good.
to
You had a good
go.
time.
It was good time, but it's so dumb. It really is. I still hate the fact I got to pay $10 to park at county-owned land that are paid for with tax money that I've already paid into it. I hate the fact that I had to pay $12 to get into the fair that's held at county-owned land that I've already paid taxes to get into and use. It's so stupid. Like, the vendors rape you for a corn dog. The everything in there rapes you. So I got to pay extra money to go in and look at people show their little dog Fluffy. It's so dumb.
Well, get your kid to enter a chicken.
The
Then it's
county
free.
county is not kind to vendors there. The arrangements are terrible.
But they
So-
can't have it both ways. If they're going to overcharge the vendors to have a booth there,
Yeah.
then they shouldn't be charging me to get into the area that's county property that I pay out of my taxes to manage.
Okay, so your
And if they're
complaint
gonna-
is with the county.
My complaint is have it one way or the other. Either charge the vendors a lot and don't charge me to get into places that I pay, or if they're going to charge me to get in there, then don't ass rape the vendors so they can be in there. So a family of four can afford to go to the frickin' fair and do family things together. But you can't have it both ways. That's dumb.
It's the government.
It's dumb
It's-
is what it
That's
is.
why
It's
we like
dumb.
to keep the government out of that shit.
It's dumb.
Well, they should be kept out of that shit.
Not out of the fair. The county government should run the fair because it's county-owned land, but it should be a gift to the county. It
No,
shouldn't be a
you-
way for them to screw you out of more money.
Okay, well, this
They
is
did
a
offer
convers-
for no charge.
This is
That's
a
not the
conversation
government.
for the 9 o'clock hour. Because we could go on about this one.
I know.
This is a
What
deep
was that,
subject.
Phil?
We're not going for another 9.5 hours.
No, I know. All right. See, Trojo's already mastered that. He's used to being a Cowboys fan. That's great. All right, everybody, we love you. We appreciate you. Good night. We'll see you Sunday at 7. This is the Outlaw Radio Network, a presentation of Black Ring Spirits.
And
remember to drink more. And Trojo's new side business,
stealing pussies. Cats.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Outlaw Radio.